He was one punch away from being permanently crippled and losing his family forever, but that exact moment turned him into the most terrifying prodigy the world had ever seen. In a reality where wealthy kids buy their martial arts mastery with expensive resources, this impoverished high schooler entered a brutal underground death match just to pay for his school tuition. He survived 3 bloody rounds only to be set up against a cheating professional who shattered his bones and promised to end his career for good. But just as the final fatal blow approached, something inside his mind completely snapped as a mysterious digital interface flickered into existence before his eyes. This god-tier system would allow him to perfectly master decades of martial arts training in mere seconds and turn his arrogant oppressors into absolute dust. Let us go back to the beginning to see how a desperate student went from fighting for scraps to becoming an unstoppable god of war. Our story kicks off with a high-stakes clash as 2 fighters trade blows in a high-speed blur. You can hear bone hitting bone echo through the gym as a powerful kick gets completely stonewalled by a solid block. The exchange doesn't stop there, with another heavy strike getting redirected at point-blank range. You can practically feel the shockwaves coming off these guys as they test each other's defenses. And here's our main man, Su-hong, shirtless and drenched in sweat as he lunges forward with a devastating punch. He's not just practicing, he's putting his entire soul into every single movement. His sparring partner reels back, clutching his arms and gasping that it hurts like hell. This guy is clearly on a different level compared to the other students in the hall. The spiky-haired kid is shocked, asking Su-hong if his diamond fist has already hit the legendary subtle stage. Su-hong just casually drops that he hit the milestone 2 days ago, like it's no big deal at all. To put that in perspective, martial arts mastery is divided into 5 grades: beginner, proficient, subtle, master, and perfection. Our boy is already sitting comfortably at the 3rd tier while everyone else is still struggling with the basics. Back in the gym, Su-hong's friend is hyped, telling him that when it comes to the diamond fist, nobody in the entire class can even touch him. He's the undisputed king of the training hall. But Su-hong isn't satisfied with being the big fish in a small pond. Even as everyone else starts packing up, he's already back in his stance, ready to push his body past its limits. His friend calls him a training maniac as he heads home to grab some food, leaving Su-hong alone in the massive arena. While everyone else is thinking about dinner, Su-hong is thinking about power. Just as he's waving goodbye, Teacher Lee walks up, looking pretty serious. It turns out the teacher has been looking for him, and he's not here to give him a pat on the back. The teacher asks him point blank if he's planning to apply for the martial arts department. He knows Su-hong has the talent, but there's a massive roadblock in the way. The registration fee is a staggering 30,000, and the deadline is next Monday. In a world where money is as tight as it is for Su-hong, that might as well be $1 million. Su-hong looks totally defeated, asking for just a few more days to get the money together. Teacher Lee looks sympathetic, but tells him straight up that he knows the family is struggling, but the rules are the rules. As the lights dim in the massive gym, the weight of the world seems to settle on Su-hong's shoulders. He's got the skill to be a pro, but the price of entry is threatening to crush his dreams before they even start. He stays long after the others have left, training in the empty hall under the glow of the overhead lights. Every punch is fueled by the frustration of knowing that talent alone isn't enough to escape poverty. 30,000. He grunts the number with every strike, the 2 words burning into his brain. He's pushing himself to the point of exhaustion, trying to find a way out of the corner he's been backed into. We get a glimpse into his past, and man, it's heartbreaking. When he was only 3, he lost both of his parents in a brutal beast disaster, leaving him alone in the rubble of a fallen world. He was taken in by his uncle and aunt, who have sacrificed everything they have to support his martial arts training. He looks at their family photo, knowing that his success is the only thing that can repay their kindness. In this era where ferocious beasts run rampant, being a top-tier martial artist is the only way to earn a real fortune. It's a high-stakes, high-reward profession, but the barrier to entry is mountain high. Su-hong feels the guilt gnawing at him as he looks at his own reflection. He started training to give his family a better life, but right now, his dreams are only making their lives harder. Returning to their cramped apartment building at night, he can already feel the tension in the air. The lights are on, but the atmosphere is heavy with the things they don't say out loud. He stops outside the door, overhearing his aunt and uncle talking about the rent being due. But instead of worrying about themselves, they're talking about how to scrape together his registration fee first. His uncle is adamant that Su-hong's talent is too good to waste, and they can't be the ones to hold him back. They're willing to risk eviction just to give him a shot at a future. It gets even worse when his aunt offers to stop taking her medication to save money. His uncle won't hear of it, promising to take on a second job to cover the costs. Hearing this, Su-hong's heart is absolutely shattered. He steps into the room, trying to hide the fact that he heard everything. He looks tired, but it's the emotional weight that's really dragging him down. He clutches his head, the stress of his family's sacrifice becoming almost too much to bear. He can't let them suffer for his sake anymore. He has to find a way to get that money on his own. His aunt greets him with a worried smile, telling him he must be worn out from practicing so late. They care about him so much, it's physically painful for him to watch them struggle. He tells them to rest and that he'll handle everything, but his voice lacks its usual confidence. His uncle just gives him a thumbs up, telling him not to worry and to get some sleep. Staring out the window of his small room, Soo-hong realizes that traditional training won't get him 30,000 in a week. He needs something faster, something more dangerous. He lies in bed, staring at the ceiling and resolving to solve his own problems. He knows there's only one place where someone with his skills can make that kind of money in a hurry. His eyes harden with a newfound determination. If he has to put his life on the line to save his family, then that's exactly what he's going to do. The next day, he finds himself standing in front of a massive, high-tech facility. This isn't a school gym. This is a place where people fight for more than just grades. Welcome to the underground martial arena, where the fights are brutal and the stakes are life and death. The crowd is roaring for blood as the announcer hypes up the next match. Soo-hong steps into the ring, but he's not Soo-hong anymore. He's Mr. Minotaur, wearing a fierce red mask to hide his identity. Beside him, a flashy announcer girl is working the crowd. The deal is simple. Win 4 consecutive matches, and he takes home a $60,000 grand prize. If he loses even once, he walks away with nothing but hospital bills. The spectators are laughing, calling him a rookie and wondering if he has a death wish. They've seen plenty of newbies get carried out on stretchers before, and they expect him to be next. The announcer girl leans in, telling him he needs to show some passion and hype up the crowd if he wants to survive this place. But Soo-hong doesn't have a clue how to work an audience. She gives him some pro advice, just curse at them and call them weak. In an underground arena, being hated is just as good as being loved, as long as people are paying to see you fight. Soo-hong takes the bait and lets out a massive roar, calling the entire crowd weaklings. Talk about a total heel turn, the crowd is absolutely losing it now. The insults worked like a charm, and the audience is already calling for his head. Someone yells that he won't even know how he died, but Soo-hong is locked in. The hype reaches a fever pitch as the announcer screams for the match to begin. The chants of "kill him" echo through the stadium, but under that mask, Soo-hong is dead serious. He can feel the heavy killing intent in the air, and for the first time, the reality of the situation hits him. This isn't a sparring match, it's a war for his family's future. His first opponent charges in, a masked guy who thinks he's going to make short work of this arrogant brat. He's coming in hot, looking to end this in the first round. Soo-hong doesn't panic. He analyzes the guy's movement in an instant, noticing that while his momentum is strong, his lower body is totally unstable. Big mistake. The opponent throws a glowing blue punch, but Soo-hong is already one step ahead. He weaves through the attack with ease, making the guy look like he's punching air. This is where the diamond fist comes into play. Soo-hong winds up a counter-strike that looks like it could punch a hole through a brick wall. With a massive boom, he connects with a brutal blow right to the guy's jaw, sending him reeling back. That subtle stage mastery is no joke. The power difference is staggering. The opponent is sent flying across the arena, crashing into the floor with enough force to crack the tiles. The crowd goes dead silent for a split second as they realize this rookie isn't playing around. "Minotaur, 1 win," the announcer screams, as Soo-hong stands tall in the center of the ring. He's already 25% of the way to saving his family. The crowd switches from jeering to cheering in an instant, loving the raw violence of that one-shot knockout. They're already demanding the next challenger. Round 2 brings out a buff guy with white hair who looks like a seasoned pro. He's not intimidated, telling the Minotaur that his luck has just run out. Soo-hong stays calm, sizing up the newcomer. This guy's build is decent, making him the perfect test subject to see just how far his diamond fist can go against a real fighter. The big guy lunges forward, and the two warriors clash in the center of the ring. It's a contest of pure strength, and the impact is loud enough to be heard in the back row. Soo-hong can feel the massive force behind the guy's punches, but he doesn't back down. He's meeting strength with even greater strength, holding his ground like an anchor. After trading a few blows, Soo-hong realizes that while this guy is strong, his own punch power is actually superior. He's starting to see the openings in the veteran's technique. He waits for the perfect moment and lands a heavy strike right on the guy's face. The impact is so clean you can almost see the shockwave traveling through the opponent's body. Soo-hong notes that the guy put too much power into his upper body, leaving his waist completely wide open. In a high-level fight, that's a death sentence. He doesn't waste the opportunity, following up with a devastating strike to the guy's exposed side. It's a textbook counter that leaves no room for escape. The white-haired fighter is launched into the air, looking like he's been hit by a truck. Soo-hong is making this look way too easy for someone fighting in the underground for the first time. And that's 2. The crowd is absolutely losing their minds as the Minotaur stands victorious once again. 2 more wins, and he's home free. Up in a private box, a group of suit-wearing VIPs are watching with interest. One of them notes that Soo-hong isn't even a quasi-martial artist yet, but his strength is way beyond a typical apprentice. The boss of the group looks down with a predatory smile. He thinks a talented kid like this is perfect for match fixing, someone they can control to make a massive profit. "Minotaur, 3 consecutive wins," the announcer screams. He's tearing through the competition, and the house is starting to worry about their payouts. A guy in a fox mask, known as White Fox, offers to go down and recruit him. His boss gives him the go-ahead but warns him not to reveal that he's already reached the rank of a true martial artist. In the back, Su-hong is catching his breath, realizing that his subtle stage diamond fist makes these ordinary apprentices look like children. He's feeling confident, maybe a little too confident. He thinks to himself that one more win will get him the 60,000 prize money. He can almost see his family's faces when he hands them the cash, but the underground always has a final boss. Su-hong's eyes go wide as his final opponent steps into the light. He can feel a presence coming off this guy that's completely different from the last three losers. It's the White Fox. The crowd recognizes him immediately, and the atmosphere shifts from excitement to pure shock. This guy shouldn't even be in this bracket. People are screaming that it's cheating because White Fox is a quasi-martial artist, a level way above anyone Su-hong has faced today. They're basically sending a shark into a goldfish tank. Su-hong is sweating now. He knows this match is going to be a nightmare, but he can't back down. The money is right there, and he's not leaving without it. White Fox leans in, his mask hiding a smug grin. He looks totally relaxed, like he's just here to take a walk in the park while everyone else is fighting for their lives. He mocks Su-hong, telling him not to be afraid and that he knows how to pull his punches. He's playing with his food, and he doesn't even consider Su-hong a real threat. The announcer calls for the final match to begin. The two fighters face off in the center of the ring, the tension so thick you could cut it with a knife. They explode into action, both of them moving so fast they become blurs. This isn't just a fight anymore, it's a high-speed clash of power and technique. Su-hong knows his only chance is to end this quickly. He goes all out from the very first second, putting every ounce of his remaining energy into his opening move. Their fists collide with a sound like a bomb going off, sending a shockwave through the entire arena. It's the biggest clash of the night, and neither side is giving an inch. But Su-hong's eyes widen as he feels the raw power coming from the fox. This isn't just a quasi-martial artist. This guy is a real, full-blown martial artist who is suppressing his strength to cheat the system. Su-hong is horrified as he realizes he's been set up. White Fox deliberately hid his blood chi to bait him into a match he couldn't possibly win. White Fox takes a deep, controlled breath. You can see the energy swirling around him as he prepares to end the fight with a single, overwhelming technique. He bellows the name, Thunderclap Fist, unleashing a strike that's faster than the eye can follow. It slams right into Su-hong's chest with the force of a literal lightning strike. Su-hong is sent flying, coughing up blood as his internal organs take a massive hit. The sheer gap in power between an apprentice and a true martial artist is a terrifying abyss. The crowd recognizes the move as the 3-echo Thunderclap Fist, a high-level technique. They all agree that the Minotaur is finished. Nobody survives a direct hit from that. White Fox doesn't stop there, launching a flurry of attacks and taunting Su-hong to fight back. He's making a mockery of the match, showing off his superior speed and power. Su-hong is barely hanging on, desperately trying to block the rain of blows. He knows if he doesn't find a chance to counterattack soon, he's going to lose consciousness. White Fox is like a ghost, appearing and disappearing as he pummels Su-hong from every angle. It's not even a fight anymore, it's a one-sided beatdown. He catches Su-hong with a brutal uppercut that snaps his head back, sending his mask flying. He's taking a ridiculous amount of punishment, but he's still trying to stay on his feet. Another heavy blow connects, and you can almost hear the crack as it lands. Su-hong is being systematically dismantled by someone far beyond his current level. He hits the floor hard, his vision starting to swim as the darkness creeps in at the edges. He thinks to himself that his consciousness is fading as his body finally reaches its breaking point. White Fox stands over his fallen body, looking down with cold indifference. He says that Su-hong won't get a single cent of the prize money for this match, really twisting the knife. He looks like a monster standing over his prey, totally confident that the fight is over. He's already won, but he's not done with his victim just yet. He drops the real offer, join their crew and help them fix future matches. If he agrees to be their puppet, they'll pay him the 60,000 right now. It's the ultimate sell your soul moment. He tells Su-hong to think carefully, because rejecting them isn't an option. They have the power to make his life a living hell if he doesn't play ball. Underneath the blood and bruises, Su-hong's eyes are burning with a fierce defiance. He growls that he will never do such a shameless thing, his pride as a martial artist still intact. White Fox's expression goes totally blank. If there's nothing to talk about, then there's no reason to keep him around. He's decided to end this permanently. He says then he'll have to cripple him, lunging forward with a strike aimed at Su-hong's meridians. He's going to make sure the kid never walks, let alone fights, ever again. In that moment of absolute crisis, Su-hong's desire to become a martial artist reaches a fever pitch. He can't fail here, not when his family is counting on him. As the fatal blow approaches, something inside Su-hong snaps. His eyes flare with a strange light, and time seems to slow down as he makes one final, desperate move. He screams internally that he can't fall here as a pillar of fire-like energy erupts around him. He's forcing his body to stand back up, defying physics and the damage he's taken. White Fox is genuinely shocked, staring at the kid like he's seen a ghost. How can anyone still stand, let alone radiate this much power, after taking a direct, thunderclap fist? Su-hong's thoughts are filled with his aunt and uncle. He can't let their years of sacrifice and hard work go to waste just because he wasn't strong enough. He sees a vision of a dark future where his family is broken and he's trapped in a wheelchair, unable to help them. He knows he will never accept a future like that. And just like that, a glowing blue screen flickers into existence right in front of his eyes. It looks like some kind of high-tech interface filled with strange symbols and data. He roars that he'll give everything as his power reaches a whole new level. He's wreathed in lightning and aura, looking more like a god of war than a high school kid. The system has finally awakened. Just when things looked hopeless, Su-hong erupts in a massive pillar of red and orange flames. He roars that he's willing to give everything for the strength to protect his family. Suddenly, the fire vanishes, and he finds himself in a strange, pitch-black void. He's totally caught off guard, looking around the empty darkness with wide eyes. The echo of his own voice hangs in the air as he stares into the abyss. He's still battered and bleeding from the fight, but the intensity in his gaze hasn't faded one bit. He looks up at the towering digital architecture of this new realm, wondering where the heck he is. His shadow stretches out like a jagged monster across the floor as he calls out to whoever is listening. A massive, golden entity appears before him, radiating divine power from a throne of light. It's like a god of martial arts, and it simply tells him that it will give him this chance. Su-hong is suddenly back in reality, but he's glowing with an ethereal golden aura. The transition is so fast it leaves him dazed as the energy swirls around him like a cyclone. He finds himself standing in a high-tech digital temple with a blue status screen floating right in front of his face. He's completely confused, staring at the holographic interface like it's alien technology. The screen shows his name and all his vital stats, including his current level of Diamond Fist and Void Step. It's basically a video game HUD for his entire existence. He wonders if the thing is touch-operated, reaching out a hesitant finger to the menu. He taps on the Quests tab, and a little red notification badge pops up, showing he's got work to do. The quest path of the arena pops up, tasking him with raising his skill levels while White Fox waits outside. The reward is a beginner tutorial, which sounds exactly like what he needs right now. As he reads the prompt, a digital copy of himself fades into view in the background. It looks like the tutorial is about to get very hands-on, very fast. Without warning, the clone lunges forward with a punch that kicks up a massive gust of wind. Su-hong barely has time to react, his eyes going wide as his own double tries to take his head off. He manages to slip under a devastating high kick, the clone's foot whistling past his ear. This digital double is fast, moving with a level of precision that Su-hong has never seen before. Su-hong realizes with a shock that this clone is using his own Diamond Fist technique. But it's not just a copy. The form is more refined and as standard as a textbook, showing him exactly where his own technique is lacking. He clenches his teeth and dives back into the fray, trading blows with the digital phantom. He knows this is a once-in-a-lifetime chance to learn from a perfect version of himself. The sound of their fists clashing is like metal hitting metal. Su-hong is putting everything he's got into every strike, trying to match the clone's flawless rhythm. But the clone is relentless, pushing him back with a barrage of perfectly timed punches. It's almost like the thing is demonstrating the true potential of his skills right in front of him. He gasps as a heavy strike catches him right in the chest, sending a shockwave through his body. The impact is so hard it knocks the wind out of him, sending him tumbling backward. He skids across the floor, coughing and gasping for air as he tries to recover. He looks over at his status screen and notices something crazy. His Diamond Fist progress is already ticking up. It jumped to 10% in just a few seconds. He was only at 7% before, and he can't believe he's improving at such an insane speed. He wipes the sweat from his brow and gets back into a fighting stance, looking more determined than ever. This system is a cheat code for martial arts, and he's going to use every second of it. The training turns into a blur of high-speed movement as Su-hong darts around the arena. He's pushing his Void Step to the limit, leaving blue streaks behind him as he tries to outmaneuver the clone. They clash mid-air, fists locked in a contest of pure power. Above their heads, status bars are constantly updating, showing Su-hong's Diamond Fist mastery rapidly catching up to the clone's. The exchange is too fast for the naked eye to follow, with Su-hong's Void Step jumping all the way to 70%. He's evolving in real time, his movements becoming smoother and more lethal with every second. A long tower of status bars flickers on the side of the screen as every single one of his skills starts leveling up. It's a total data overload, but the progress is undeniable. He lands a clean palm strike, and a notification pings that floating light palm has hit 100% proficiency. He's breaking through his limits one by one. He weaves through another attack, and his Void Step maxes out as well, reaching the subtle mastery level. He's moving like a ghost now, making the clone look like it's stuck in slow motion. With one final earth-shattering punch, he reaches the grand achievement level for Diamond Fist. The impact creates a massive burst of light that fills the entire digital arena. Su-hong stands alone in the silence, huffing and puffing as the clone finally dissolves into light. He's absolutely exhausted, but his aura is completely different than when he started. He gives a tired nod to the empty space, thanking the system for the help. A final notification pops up, quest completed. It asks if he's ready to return to reality, and he doesn't hesitate. Back in the underground arena, Su-hong's eyes snap open as his red minotaur aura flares up again. He whispers his agreement, and the real fight is finally back on. White Fox is furious that he's being ignored, calling Su-hong a show-off and charging in with a flurry of strikes. He's trying to overwhelm the kid with speed, but something is very different now. Too slow. Su-hong mutters as he casually sidesteps a punch that would have killed him minutes ago. He's reading White Fox's movements like an open book. He ducks a wide swing and slips behind the fox with effortless grace. He's making a genuine martial artist look like a complete amateur in front of the whole crowd. Su-hong winds up a devastating counterpunch, his fist practically glowing with power. White Fox realizes he's in deep trouble, his eyes wide with panic behind that mask. With a massive boom, Su-hong's grand achievement Diamond Fist slams right into White Fox's face, shattering his mask into 1,000 pieces. The impact is so violent, it looks like an explosion. We get a close-up of Su-hong's focused, intense face as he drives the punch home. White Fox's head is snapped back with enough force to break his neck, his pride and his mask destroyed in a single hit. The crowd is in total shock as White Fox hits the floor with a sickening thud, totally unconscious. Nobody can believe a rookie just one-shotted a real martial artist. Su-hong stands over the fallen fighter, his glowing blue eyes visible through the holes in his bull mask. He's officially won the 4th match and proved he's the real deal. He turns to the stunned announcer girl, who's still holding her microphone in midair. He casually asks when he's getting his 60,000 prize money, making her jump. Up in the VIP booth, the boss is sweating buckets, staring at the screen in disbelief. He can't wrap his head around how an apprentice could possibly have a grand achievement Diamond Fist. He doesn't like being surprised, so he orders his suited thugs to follow Su-hong and find out his real identity. This kid is either going to work for them, or he's going to be eliminated. Later that night, Su-hong is walking home through the city streets, hands in his pockets. He looks calm, but he's already noticed the shadows moving behind him. He gives a sharp sideways glance, confirming that he's being followed by the boss's men. He's not about to lead them straight to his front door. He ducks into a narrow alleyway, moving fast to lose his tail. Behind him, the suits and glasses are running, desperate not to lose sight of their target. The thugs burst into the alley but find it completely empty. They shout in confusion, wondering where he went while knowing the boss is definitely going to kill them for this. Su-hong is actually suspended between the walls right above their heads, holding himself up with just his arms and legs. He watches them scramble below, thinking to himself that they're still trying to tail him. He eventually makes it to a high rooftop, looking out over the city under the glow of a full moon. It's been a long night, but he's finally safe enough to go home. He arrives at his humble apartment building, the lights in the window showing his family is still awake. He's carrying a heavy weight in his pockets, literally. Inside, his aunt and uncle are staring at a massive stack of cash on the table, looking like they've seen a ghost. His uncle asks him straight up if he robbed a bank to get all this. Su-hong sits down and spins a lie about working as a sparring partner at a dojo where the master recognized his potential. It's a shaky story, especially since he called the place stingy before. He reaches out and takes his aunt's hand, looking them both in the eye and asking them to just trust him. They can see the sincerity in his face, even if they don't know the whole truth. His uncle breaks down in tears, saying that their little Hong has finally made something of himself. It's a huge emotional relief for the whole family, and the first time they've smiled in weeks. Later, Su-hong is back on the roof, enjoying the quiet night air. He's relieved beyond words. The martial exam fee and the rent are finally paid off. He looks up at the moon, knowing that his aunt's medical bills won't be a problem anymore either. He's finally taken the burden off his family's shoulders. He pulls up his system screen, thanking it for saving him in the arena. He notices a new stat, Martial Dao points at 67, and he's curious what he could do with them. A notification pops up explaining that these points come from defeating strong enemies and can be used to boost his stats. He decides to put them to the test right now. He starts tapping the screen, dumping points into his blood energy stat. He's eager to see just how much stronger he can get. His blood energy stat rockets up to 90, and the system pings with another notification. He's reaching a level he never thought possible. A surge of raw energy explodes from his body, his eyes glowing with a brilliant blue light. He can feel his heart pounding with power as his physique transforms. He stands up, wreathed in a swirling aura of blue and orange flames. He looks like a completely different person, radiating a pressure that would make even a veteran warrior sweat. He notes that 90 blood energy puts him at the level of a quasi-warrior. That's a massive leap forward, but he's not done yet. He thinks to himself to dump all the remaining martial Dao points into blood energy. He's going for maximum power, pushing the limits of what his body can handle. The notifications keep scrolling as his energy climbs even higher. He notices that his injuries are almost completely gone, and he's feeling more durable than ever. He pulls his shirt open, looking at his rock-hard abs and the sheer power coursing through his veins. He feels like he's got endless power and needs a way to test it out. He leaps through the night sky, moving with incredible speed across the rooftops. He's headed for the school's martial arena to find a proper testing machine. He arrives at the empty school, looking confident as he searches for the combat power tester. He needs to know exactly where he stands before the exams start. The outdoor arena at Star City No. 1 High School is completely deserted and bathed in moonlight. It's the perfect place for a secret test. He finds the Tier 1 combat power tester, a massive piece of machinery designed to take heavy hits. He walks up to it, ready to let loose. He gets into a low stance, deciding to use only 70% of his strength for this first punch. He doesn't want to overdo it and draw too much attention. He winds up his arm, his eyes glowing intensely as his energy focuses on his fist. This is the moment of truth for all his training and system upgrades. With a massive boom, he throws a punch that looks like it's breaking the sound barrier, slamming his fist right into the machine's sensor. The impact is so massive, it lights up the entire area. He looks at the machine with a totally blank expression. Something tells him he might have used a bit more than 70% of his power. The entire machine is completely trashed, smoking and sparking with broken parts everywhere. He realizes he's in big trouble if he gets caught destroying school property. Suddenly, a voice screams from the distance, complaining about all the noise. Su-hong shouts that it's time to run, bolting out of the arena before anyone can see him. A grumpy old teacher in a yellow hat finds the wreckage, absolutely fuming. He immediately blames two brats named Chen Shan and Li Tu, assuming they're the only ones who could do this. He roars into the night that he's going to teach those two a lesson they'll never forget. Meanwhile, Su-hong is already long gone, his secret safe for now, but his power is definitely no secret anymore. We're back at Star City No. 1 High School, where the entire student body is packed into the gymnasium. There's a buzz in the air today, and everyone's wondering what kind of big announcement is coming down the pipe. In the crowd, everyone is gossiping about Chen Shan getting beat up. Apparently, he was blamed for smashing the combat tester the other night, and since he wouldn't admit it, the principal threw the book at him. Su-hong is standing right next to the guy who's taking the fall, looking a bit guilty, but mostly just glad he's not the one in trouble. It's a dirty play, but hey, in this world, you take every win you can get. Principal Lee takes the stage with a very serious-looking guy in a blue martial arts suit. He introduces his old comrade in arms, Chen Tian, a high-ranking Tier 3 martial artist who's here to give the kids a masterclass. The students are losing their minds because seeing a Tier 3 pro in person is super rare. Usually, learning C-rank martial arts at a private dojo costs hundreds of thousands, so this is basically a free lottery ticket for everyone. Chen Tian gets right to it, demonstrating a move called the Thunder Rush Fist. Su-hong's eyes go wide as he realizes it's the exact same devastating technique that White Fox used to nearly kill him in the arena. Su-hong clenches his fist, his system interface flickering to life as he realizes the massive opportunity in front of him. He doesn't just want to watch, he needs to master this C-rank art to reach the next level of strength. Chen Tian tells the students to cut the chatter and pay close attention because he's only going to show them 10 times. He stands ready, his presence alone putting a heavy pressure on everyone in the room. He starts his footwork, moving with a controlled power that kicks up dust from the gymnasium floor. You can see the blue energy starting to coil around his legs as he builds momentum for the strike. With a massive boom, he unleashes a punch that looks like a literal lightning strike, his fist trailing white energy. He explains that at the basic level, this fist momentum is so fierce it actually creates a thunderous sound. Chen Tian breaks it down further. At proficient level, you can strike out 3 sounds, and at micro level, you hit 5. He's showing off the sheer technical depth of a C-rank art, making everyone realize just how far they have to go. The master then takes it to the limit, glowing with a massive blue aura as he demonstrates the mastered realm. He lets out 7 distinct sounds of thunder in a single burst, looking like an absolute god of war on that stage. He tells the class that hitting 9 sounds is the perfect realm, but they should keep their expectations low and just aim for the basic level today. Talk about a reality check for these high school kids. The students explode into action, practicing their grunts and trying to mimic the master's movements. It looks more like a chaotic aerobics class than a martial arts seminar right now. Fast forward several hours, and the entire gym is a graveyard of exhausted teenagers. Most of them are slumped on the floor, gasping for air and complaining that C-rank arts are just way too hard to learn. Su-hong's spiky-haired buddy is trembling with fatigue, totally defeated by the difficulty level. He looks around for Su-hong, but his friend has completely vanished from the gym. He looks around the empty space where Su-hong was standing, wondering where the heck he went. Little does he know, Su-hong is out there somewhere putting that new knowledge to work. Suddenly, everyone's attention is grabbed by Chen Shan, who actually managed to reach the basic level. The crowd is calling him the school's #1 genius, and for a second, he actually looks like the hero of the story. Principal Lee is beaming with pride, trying to talk up Chen Shan to the master, but Chen Tian just scoffs, saying that in other cities, this genius level is just the bare minimum for passing. The two veterans walk outside, discussing the harsh reality of martial arts. Chen Tian is disappointed, telling Li that his batch of students isn't very good and he basically came here for nothing. Principal Li tries to defend his kids, but Chen Tian isn't hearing it. He's seen top-tier talent before, and he knows that without a massive opportunity, most of these students will never reach the pro level. As they walk, they talk about how cruel the martial path is, where raw talent is everything and hard work alone won't get you to the top. But then, a massive, booming sound stops them dead in their tracks. They both spin around, their faces going pale with shock. That wasn't just a loud noise, it was a sound they recognized instantly, and it was coming from the training field. There stands Su Hong, looking like a literal storm god wreathed in blue lightning. He's unleashing a barrage of punches that are so fast and powerful, they're creating a sonic boom that shakes the entire area. He's moving like a blue blur, his movements perfect and his energy overflowing. Chen Tian can't believe his eyes. He only taught for half a day, and this student has already mastered the technique. The master is actually shaking as he hides behind a fence, counting the sounds. He screams at old Chen that he heard 9 sounds, realizing he's looking at a monster-level talent. Chen Tian has a sudden moment of pure inspiration as he watches Su Hong's perfect form. His eyes widen and his face glows as he finally understands the missing piece of his own technique. He clenches his own fist, sparks of electricity jumping between his fingers as he channels everything he's got. He roars the name Thunder Rush Fist and throws a strike that's fueled by his new realization. With a massive boom, he unleashes a punch that's way more powerful than anything he showed in the gym. He's finally broken through his own plateau, all thanks to watching a high school kid practice. He's ecstatic, shouting that Su Hong's inspiration helped him break a lifetime's worth of stagnation. But when they rush onto the field to find the student, the place is totally empty. They're frantic, looking everywhere for the mysterious genius who just changed their lives. But Su Hong is already long gone, disappearing like a ghost into the city streets. Su Hong is walking through town, thinking that practicing C-rank skills is way more tiring than his old D-rank stuff. He's got his head down, trying to stay low profile after his massive display of power. He checks his system and sees that Thunder Rush Fist has already reached the perfect realm. Now he just needs to find more martial values so he can officially break through to the martial artist rank. He arrives at his workplace, the Raging Thunder Dojo, looking for a chance to spar. Normal practice is fine, but he knows he needs real combat to get the most out of his system. He steps into the traditional-looking courtyard, ready to put in some hours. It's quiet for now, but in a martial arts dojo, the peace never lasts very long. Inside, students are training with spears, and things are looking pretty intense. You can hear the sounds of wooden staves clashing and people grunting as they push their physical limits. A friendly student greets him, but Su Hong just keeps it cool, saying he's just here to practice. He's focused, and he's not here to make friends, he's here to get stronger. Suddenly, a purple-haired jerk named Li Yan kicks a fellow student right in the stomach, sending him flying across the room. He's an arrogant bully who clearly thinks he's better than everyone else in the room. He looks down with a sneer, mocking the other student for being a weakling and making excuses. This guy radiates bad vibes, and it's clear he's looking for a fight. Su Hong's buddy explains that Li Yan and his instructor are new to the dojo and are incredibly strong, but they look down on everyone else. They're basically treating the regulars like garbage. Li Yan stands over the fallen student, challenging anyone else to step up. He's got that smug look of someone who knows he can win, and the other students are all too scared to move. He throws a punch at the kid on the floor, ready to cause some real damage. He's totally out of line, and it's clear he doesn't care about the dojo's rules at all. But before the punch can land, a hand shoots out and grabs Li Yan's wrist in a literal iron grip. Su Hong has stepped in, and the look on his face says he's done watching. Su Hong tells him to stop right there with a cold, calm voice. He's holding Li Yan's arm like it's nothing, and the purple-haired guy is starting to realize he's met his match. Li Yan is livid, shouting for Su Hong to let go and fight him one-on-one in the arena. Su Hong just gives him a stone-cold stare and says he'll oblige. The tension is broken by a stern-looking man in a suit, likely the new instructor. He demands to know what all the noise is about, telling everyone that class is officially starting. Li Yan walks away with a smug grin, telling Su Hong he's lucky that the instructor stepped in. He thinks he's the one who is going to do the beating, which is honestly kind of hilarious. Su Hong just watches him go, his blue eyes narrowed. He thinks to himself that this person is a bit too arrogant, already planning how he's going to dismantle this guy later. The instructor announces that today is the last day he's teaching the Raging Sea Spear technique. True to his arrogant style, he says he's only going to perform it one time, and it's up to them to learn it. He steps into the center of the room and starts the demonstration, moving his spear with a terrifying speed. He's a pro, and his movements are sharp, efficient, and lethal. He lets out a focused grunt as he swings the spear, the wood whistling through the air. He's making a point to show off his skill, looking down on the students as he finishes the move. Su Hong is watching with total intensity, his brain already breaking down the physics of the technique. He's not just watching a demo, he's downloading the entire skill set into his system. We get a close-up of Su-hong's eye, where the instructor's movements are being reflected and analyzed. This is the subtle mastery at work, allowing him to see things that regular students completely miss. The instructor sticks the spear into the floor with a heavy thud, telling the class that how much they learn is entirely up to them. He looks totally unimpressed as he walks away. The other students are complaining that a single demonstration is a total scam. They can't see the movements clearly at all, and most of them are already giving up before they even start. But Su-hong is already in his own world, his eyes glowing as he understands the core of the technique. He picks up a spear, and his aura starts to flare with a brilliant blue light. He explodes into action, moving with an insane speed that creates actual trails of blue water energy. He's mimicking the instructor's move, but with a level of fluidity that's even higher. He's a blur of motion, his spear strikes coming so fast they look like a solid wall of blue energy. The other students are totally speechless, wondering what kind of prodigy they've been training with. Someone screams that Su-hong seems to have learned it as the entire gym watches in awe. He's making the most difficult technique in the dojo look like a warm-up exercise. The crowd is going wild, wondering if they're just too stupid or if Su-hong is just that much of a monster. Even the instructor would be shocked if he saw this level of mastery. Li Yan bursts back into the room, fuming at all the noise. He sees Su-hong mid-swing, and his jaw practically hits the floor as he realizes the kid has actually mastered the spear. He walks up with a predatory grin, telling Su-hong he'll give him some pointers. He's clearly jealous and looking for an excuse to put the rookie in his place. He looks Su-hong up and down, thinking it would be interesting to test his depth. He's still arrogant enough to think he has the upper hand, despite what he just saw. Su-hong's friend warns him that Li Yan is incredibly strong and not to be impulsive, but Su-hong just gives a calm, "Don't worry," already sizing up his opponent. Su-hong gets into a combat stance, holding his spear with a relaxed but lethal grip. He tells Li Yan to please enlighten him, but the look in his eyes says he's the one who's about to give the lesson. Li Yan charges in like a madman, his spear glowing with orange electricity. He calls Su-hong an arrogant kid and unleashes a micro-level strike that looks like it could split a mountain. Su-hong just closes his eyes and takes a deep breath, totally unfazed by the incoming attack. He's waiting for the perfect moment to counter, his body perfectly still. Suddenly, a massive blue dragon made of water and energy erupts from Su-hong's spear. He's unleashed the proficient level of the Raging Sea technique, and it's on a completely different level than Li Yan's strike. The look on Li Yan's face is pure terror as he realizes he's way out of his depth. He screams, asking how that's possible, but it's already too late. The storm has arrived. Su-hong isn't playing around anymore, unleashing his Rage Sea Spear technique at the proficient level. A massive wave of blue energy coils around his spear as he prepares to meet Li Yan's charge head-on. The two spears collide with a deafening metallic clang that sends sparks flying everywhere. Even though Li Yan is technically a higher rank, he's being pushed back by the sheer force of Su-hong's technique. Li Yan is absolutely losing his mind, unable to comprehend how someone who isn't even a warrior yet can use a proficient level technique. He's struggling just to hold his ground as the blue energy starts to overwhelm his orange sparks. We get a terrifying close-up of Su-hong's eyes, which are now glowing with a predatory golden light. He's completely locked in, his focus so intense it's actually starting to intimidate the bully. With a final, powerful thrust, Su-hong shatters Li Yan's defense and sends him reeling backward. The power gap is undeniable now. Su-hong is just on a completely different level of talent. A system notification pings, rewarding Su-hong with 35 martial Dao points for defeating a higher-level opponent. He realizes that ordinary sparring matches are basically a goldmine for farming points. Li Yan is left kneeling on the floor, staring at his hands in total disbelief. He keeps repeating that it's impossible for someone to learn that complex spear technique so quickly. The reality of his defeat is starting to turn into pure rage as he thinks about all the years he spent training. He's looking at Su-hong with eyes full of hatred, unable to accept that he just got humbled by a rookie. He lets out a frustrated scream, asking what all his hard work was even for if a random kid can just surpass him in a day. He's clearly reaching a breaking point as he lunges forward for one more desperate strike. "Enough," the instructor bellows, his voice echoing through the dojo like a thunderclap. He steps in and stops the fight with a single look, his presence alone enough to make everyone freeze. Li Yan is forced to stand down, looking totally pathetic as he faces his teacher. The instructor isn't happy, looking at his student with a mix of disappointment and genuine anger. He gives Li Yan a harsh reality check, asking him what kind of martial artist he thinks he is if he can't even face a fair defeat. It's a brutal public shaming for a guy who was acting like he owned the place 5 minutes ago. Li Yan can only look down in shame, his face contorted with bitterness. He knows his reputation in the dojo is completely trashed after this one-sided beatdown. The instructor is secretly reeling, thinking that even the top-tier geniuses from the imperial capital aren't this exaggerated. He's realized he's looking at a once-in-a-generation monster. He sighs, admitting to himself that while Li Yan has talent, his arrogance was always going to lead to a fall like this. He looks at Su-hong with newfound respect, realizing the kid is the real deal. The instructor actually bows and apologizes to Su-hong for his student's lack of discipline. Talk about a complete one-handy, this guy was looking down on everyone just an hour ago. Su-hong just gives a polite nod, thinking to himself that this guy sure changes his tune fast. He's not interested in the drama, he's just here to collect his gains and head out. As he walks home through the neon-lit city streets, Su-hong feels the exhaustion of the day finally catching up to him. But a tired smile creeps onto his face. He's walked away with 2 new skills and a fat stack of system points. He pulls up his status menu, satisfied to see those 35 martial Dao points sitting there. He's getting closer to his goal, but he knows he needs to keep pushing if he wants to stay ahead of the curve. The upcoming school exams are weighing on his mind, especially since the rich kids will all have high-grade alloy weapons. He realizes he needs more than just skill, he needs some serious gear. He flexes his hand, thinking that the spear felt surprisingly comfortable in the match. He decides he's going to stick with the spear from now on, but he needs a real one, not a training stave. He stops at a shop window, but his heart sinks when he sees the price tag of $698,000 for a decent alloy spear. Between that and his aunt's medical bills, he realizes he needs a way to make some serious cash, and fast. A recruitment ad on a nearby screen catches his eye. The city is looking for warriors to leave the safety of the walls and hunt fierce beasts. The rewards are generous, which is exactly what he needs to hear. He wonders if he should leave the city to hunt fierce beasts. Most apprentices wouldn't dream of it, but Su-hong isn't exactly a normal apprentice anymore. He arrives back at his apartment building, the familiar sight of the laundry hanging on the lines, giving him a sense of groundedness. This is why he's doing all of this, to protect this small corner of his world. Inside, he finds his uncle looking bruised and exhausted from another day of manual labor. His aunt is fussing over him, and Su-hong's heart breaks seeing them still struggling like this. He steps into the room, announcing that he's home. His family's faces light up immediately, their worry for their own struggles vanishing the moment they see him. He immediately tries to help his aunt with her chores, but she tells him to go rest. He's tired of seeing them work themselves into the ground while he's off fighting in arenas. He sits down with his uncle and tells him straight up that he's earning enough now that they both need to stop working. He wants them to just stay home and focus on their health. His uncle just laughs it off with a thumbs up, trying to look tough despite the exhaustion in his eyes. He claims he's just earning a bit for daily expenses, but Su-hong knows better. His aunt gives him a warm, motherly smile, telling him they're just trying to save up as much as they can for his future training. Their selflessness is almost too much for him to handle. Su-hong looks at his tablet, his mind already made up. He knows they'll never stop sacrificing for him unless he earns enough money to make them feel truly secure. He resolves that he absolutely cannot miss this opportunity, his eyes hardening as he looks at the bounty mission. He's going into the wilderness, even if it means risking his life. Before he goes, he decides to dump every single point he has into his blood energy. If he's going into beast territory, he needs his physical body to be as tough as humanly possible. He glows with a fierce red aura as the points are allocated, his blood energy skyrocketing to 95.2. He can feel the power coursing through him. He's officially just one step away from becoming a true warrior. 2 days later, we find him in the empty school gym late at night, drenched in sweat. He's pushed every single one of his skills, from Diamond Fist to Void Step, all the way to the Perfect Realm. He takes a final, deep breath, the moisture dripping off his face. He's as ready as he'll ever be, and it's finally time to leave the safety of Star City. He arrives at the Star City Warrior Base, a massive fortress that guards the path into the wilderness. The scale of the place is incredible, looking like a high-tech castle built for war. Su-hong walks through the gates, feeling like a small fish in a very big pond for the first time in a while. He's seen this place on TV 100 times, but being here in person is a totally different vibe. The base is crawling with actual warriors, people who fight beasts for a living. It's a rough, gritty crowd, and Su-hong sticks out like a sore thumb in his clean school jacket. He checks the bounty list, seeing the prices for different tiers of beasts. To get paid, he has to cut off the left ear of every beast he kills. Primitive, but it's the only way to prove a kill. He thinks with a wry grin that this is a bit primitive. It's a grim reminder of the world he's stepping into, but he doesn't have the luxury of being squeamish. He walks up to the counter, asking the clerk to help him calculate the worth of a full haul. He's already planning his victory before he's even stepped foot in the forest. Suddenly, a shadow moon wolf lunges from the trees, claws out and ready to tear Su-hong apart. It's got a crazed look in its eyes as it dives through the air for the kill. Su-hong isn't a rookie anymore though. He smoothly sidesteps the pounce, letting the wolf crash uselessly into the dirt behind him. Without wasting a second, he channels massive yellow energy into his fist. This isn't just a regular punch, it's loaded with enough power to end this fight right now. He connects a brutal strike directly into the wolf's flank. The impact is so heavy, it shatters the ground underneath them as the energy explodes forward. The wolf is launched across the clearing, letting out a final, pathetic howl. It didn't stand a chance against that kind of raw strength. Su-hong stands over the carcass, looking almost surprised by his own growth. He mutters to himself that this is what fighting monsters feels like, even more exciting than he imagined. He clenches his fist, feeling the heat of the battle still coursing through his veins. He's starting to get a taste for this high-stakes lifestyle. He thinks that he can now kill a Tier 1 initial stage, ferocious beast in a single move. His eyes burn with new ambition as he wonders how he'd fare against a Tier 1 middle stage beast. Be careful what you wish for, buddy. A massive raging black bear towers over him from behind, its eyes glowing red with pure malice. Su-hong doesn't even flinch, meeting the beast head-on with another explosive strike. The flash of energy is so bright it blinds everything in the forest for a split second. The bear's head is snapped back from the force of the blow. It's a direct hit that would have turned a regular person into paste. The massive beast drops like a sack of bricks. Su-hong casually realizes that as long as he stays away from Tier 2 monsters, he's basically the apex predator out here. Time to collect the loot. He carves out a trophy from the bear, already calculating the profit. He thinks to himself that 3,000 in prize money is secured. Suddenly, his system pings with a massive notification. He finally has enough martial value to break through and officially become a martial artist. This is the moment he's been training for. But the celebration is cut short by a bone-chilling roar that echoes through the trees. Even Su-hong looks a little rattled by the sheer pressure behind that sound. He looks toward the sound, sensing an aura that's way beyond anything he's faced so far. He wonders what kind of ferocious beast could make a sound that intense. He doesn't hesitate for a second, leaping through the treetops toward the source of the roar. He decides to go take a look, always looking for the next challenge. He reaches the edge of a rocky cliff and gazes down at the carnage below. His eyes go wide as he realizes what he's stumbled onto. Down below is a gargantuan black jade giant python, a Tier 1 late-stage beast. It's currently being attacked by a group of hunters who look like they're in way over their heads. One of the hunters gets absolutely slammed by the python's massive head. He lets out a scream of pure agony as the sheer force behind the strike breaks his guard. The hunter is sent flying through the air like a rag doll. Su-hong watches from above, his face glistening with sweat as he realizes how dangerous this monster really is. The python lets out a terrifying roar, its eyes locked onto the remaining prey. It looks completely untouchable, like a wall of living armor. Another hunter is desperately trying to stay airborne as the snake's massive body whips around. These guys are getting systematically dismantled. So fast, Su-hong thinks, his eyes barely able to track the python's next lunge. It moves with a speed that defies its massive size. The python's head strikes forward again, a blur of scales and fangs. It's like a high-speed train made of pure muscle. Its massive tail smashes into the ground, creating a literal crater. The shockwave alone is enough to send the nearby hunters sprawling. We see a gruesome blood spatter on the rocks as someone coughs up a lung. This isn't a fight, it's a massacre. Su-hong leaps down from the cliff to check on the downed hunters. He finds one guy in a pool of blood, looking like he's got one foot in the grave. Su-hong wipes a bit of blood from his lip, his expression darkening. He can't just stand by while people are being slaughtered like this. He grabs a discarded spear from the ground, his grip tightening around the shaft. He says to the unconscious owner that he's borrowing his spear for a moment, his gaze fixed on the giant snake. Su-hong stands tall against the massive python, looking tiny compared to the monster. But his stance is rock solid, and he's ready to show this thing what he's capable of. The python roars and lunges downward, aiming to swallow him whole. Its gaping maw is a nightmare of fangs and darkness. Su-hong dodges the strike with ease as the snake's head crashes into the ground right where he was standing. He knows a Tier 1 late-stage beast usually needs a whole team to take down, but he isn't your average martial artist. He uses the python's own body as a ramp, sprinting up its armored back with incredible speed. Talk about a big mistake for the snake. He's a blur as he runs, his feet barely touching the scales. He thinks to himself that the current him has the ability to fight the black jade giant python. He launches himself into the air, spear poised for a killing blow. His void step has reached perfection, allowing him to literally glide through the air like a ghost. He channels the raging sea spear technique at the perfect level, the spear wreathed in spiraling water energy. He's putting every ounce of his power into this one thrust. The spear impacts the python's scales with a massive clang. It doesn't pierce through yet, but the shockwave ripples through the beast's entire body. The python roars in pure rage, its eyes turning a deeper shade of red. It's finally met someone who can actually hurt it. Su-hong kicks off the snake's massive flank, doing a backflip to create some space. He knows he can't get greedy with his attacks against a beast this big. He lands smoothly and tightens his grip on the spear, his knuckles turning white. He's just getting started. He skids back across the dirt, blue energy crackling around his legs. He's already planning his next move, looking for any opening in that massive defense. He gets back into his combat stance, his eyes glowing with determination. He grunts that he'll go one more time, his body vibrating with energy. He lunges forward again, the spear becoming a blur of blue light as he thrusts with incredible force. He's targeting the softer spots between the scales this time. The python barely manages to pull its head back, the spear grazing its neck. It's starting to realize that it can't just overpower this tiny human. It's a high-speed exchange of blows as the snake's body whips around like a giant flail. Su Hong is weaving through the attacks like it's a choreographed dance. He takes a low stance as the dust settles. He analyzes that the difference in their body sizes is too great, making it hard to deal a fatal blow in one hit. Suddenly, a massive tail swipe flies right over his head. If he hadn't ducked in that exact second, he'd be a pancake right now. Su Hong unleashes a Thunder Rush fist at the perfect level. He lets out a massive electrical punch that slams into the snake's body with the force of a lightning bolt. He lands the hit and immediately kicks off, opening up the distance before the python can retaliate. He's playing it smart, using hit-and-run tactics to wear it down. He stands his ground, spear ready. He tells himself to find an opening, launch another attack, and then quickly disengage, sticking to his strategy. He's huffing a bit now, the fatigue starting to set in. He thinks that fighting like this is a bit tiring, but the advantage is safety, catching his breath for the final stretch. The python is visibly shivering, its head sagging toward the ground. Su Hong notices it's nearing its limit. He thinks he just needs to maneuver around it a few more times to take it down. He readies his spear once more, his eyes locked on the target. He shouts for it to keep it coming, ready to end this once and for all. Wait, someone's coming. Su Hong spins around, his combat senses tingling. He growls, asking who it is, feeling a new presence in the area. A chilling laugh echoes through the rocky clearing. Someone's been watching from the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. A massive guy in a black mask leaps down from the rocks above, his fist wreathed in burning red energy. This dude looks like bad news. Su Hong barely gets his arms up as the flaming fist slams into him. The sheer force of the blow catches him completely off guard. He's sent tumbling across the rocks, crashing into the dirt with a heavy thud. He wasn't expecting an ambush from another human. He stays on the ground for a second, coughing up dust and clutching his side. That hit really did some damage. He looks up to see a whole group of hunters standing over him, led by that arrogant blonde guy from the base. Su Hong shouts, asking who these people are, his blood boiling. The blonde guy gives him a smug, punchable smile. He says they meet again and asks how about giving this black jade giant python to him. He's acting like he's already won. Big mistake, buddy. You don't know who you're messing with. The scene is set for a brutal showdown as Su Hong finds himself surrounded by Ye Feng and his 4 hired thugs. He's already battered from the fight with the python, and these vultures are here to pick the bones. Ye Feng looks down at the wounded student with a sickeningly smug grin. He's got that punchable, privileged brat look going on, totally enjoying the fact that he caught his rival at his weakest moment. He points a mocking finger toward the massive snake, claiming that Su Hong's luck was just too good to find it on the verge of death. He's planning to steal the credit and the bounty without lifting a finger. Su Hong's eyes narrow as the gears start turning. He realizes these guys didn't track the beast, they just stumbled upon him and are trying to move in for an easy score. Our boy is in a tight spot, analyzing the 5 martial artists blocking his path. He knows that in his current condition, a head-on brawl against all of them is basically a death sentence. A massive goon in a red mask steps forward, looking like a total final boss. He growls at Su Hong to scram if he doesn't want to get crushed underfoot. Su Hong wipes a smear of blood from his chin, his gaze turning icy. He's not the type to back down from a fight, especially when someone's trying to rob him of his hard-earned victory. He growls that they only pushed him back earlier because of a sneak attack, red electricity starting to crackle around his fist. He's about to show these guys that even an injured dragon is still a dragon. With a massive boom, Su Hong lunges forward with an explosive punch that the big masked guy barely manages to block. The shockwave from the impact is so massive it practically clears the dust from the air. The big goon is reeling, his eyes wide behind his mask as he feels the terrifying power behind Su Hong's strike. He thought he was dealing with an easy target, but he just hit a brick wall. Su Hong doesn't give him a chance to recover, unleashing a flurry of high-speed blows. He's moving like a blur, making the heavy-set thug look like he's stuck in slow motion. Ye Feng and the rest of the crew watch from a distance as Su Hong systematically dismantles their muscle. The tide is turning faster than they can blink. A look of realization washes over Ye Feng's face as he recognizes the technique. He knows it's the excellent Vajra fist, and that means he's facing the Minotaur. The secret identity he fought so hard to keep is finally out. A quick flashback reminds us of the last time these two crossed paths, back when Su Hong was wearing the bull mask and dominating the underground arena. Talk about a small world. Ye Feng's smugness is replaced by a mask of pure, unadulterated hatred. He hasn't forgotten the humiliation of being beaten in front of a crowd, and he's ready to end this grudge once and for all. He screams for them to kill him, and the entire group charges at once like a pack of rabid dogs. It's 4-on-1 now, and the forest is about to become a war zone. Su Hong isn't stupid. He throws his spear as a distraction and bolts into the thick tree line. He knows he can't win out in the open, so he's taking the fight into his own territory. The thugs lose sight of him in the dense greenery, their leader with the giant sword warning everyone to be careful. The woods ahead are perfect for an ambush, and Su Hong is the apex predator here. One of the goons is on high alert, scanning the shadows for any sign of movement. He's sweating through his mask, knowing that Su-hong could be anywhere. Suddenly, a blue streak of energy rips through the brush. Su-hong strikes from the shadows, landing a devastating blow that sends another thug crashing through the undergrowth. A terrifying close-up shows Su-hong's glowing blue eye. He's completely focused, his perfect stage techniques making him a literal ghost in the machine. Another heavy thud echoes through the woods as Su-hong takes down yet another target. He's picking them off one by one, turning the hunters into the hunted. One of the thugs is lying in the dirt, coughing up blood and looking like he's seen a ghost. Su-hong isn't playing around. This is a fight for survival. Ye-feng is starting to panic, looking around wildly as he realizes his crew is being systematically deleted. He gasps, wondering how this guy is so fast, his confidence crumbling. One remaining lackey is shaking as he recognizes the sound of the 9-echo thunderclap fist. Even veteran martial artists struggle to reach this level of perfection, and it's scaring him half to death. Ye-feng roars for him to shut up, his own face pale with fear. The realization that he's facing a perfection-level master is finally starting to sink in, and it's a terrifying thought. Su-hong watches his prey from a branch above, huffing a bit. He knows he's winning, but the earlier fight with the python has left him with dangerously low stamina. He doesn't wait for his breath to return, diving down with his spear aimed right at another goon. He's got to finish this quickly before he runs out of steam. The impact is brutal as he slams into the ground, a shockwave of blue energy flattening the nearby grass. It's a textbook ambush that leaves no room for escape. He grabs one guy by the neck, his eyes burning with a cold blue fire. This is where all that training pays off, turning a desperate situation into a one-sided slaughter. He drives the guy's head into the dirt with a bone-shattering stomp. One more down, and the numbers are finally starting to look more even. Blood sprays across the leaves as Su-hong lands another lethal hit. He's moving with a savage efficiency that's honestly pretty terrifying to watch. The survivors are losing their nerve. One guy is already screaming to retreat, terrified by the monster they've unleashed. Ye-feng shouts back, asking if he's kidding, his pride refusing to let him go. Another goon is launched through the air, looking like a discarded toy. Su-hong is a whirlwind of destruction, leaving nothing but broken bodies in his wake. Ye-feng is left staring at the wreckage of his team as Su-hong emerges from the dust cloud. The young master is finally face to face with the man he tried to rob. He lunges at Su-hong with a desperate roar, his face twisted in a mask of pure desperation. It's a high-stakes clash that's been building since they first met. Ye-feng is trembling, unable to believe that Su-hong has grown this much stronger in just a few days. He's sweating through his expensive gear, the weight of his impending defeat settling in. Su-hong doesn't even say a word, just dodges a wild swing with effortless grace. He's moved beyond words, only action matters now. He skids back, his eyes fixed on Ye-feng's every movement. He thinks to himself that finally, it's his turn, preparing to settle the score once and for all. Ye-feng unleashes a desperate blast of blue energy from his palm, his face contorted in a scream. He's throwing everything he has left into this one strike. But Su-hong is already counterattacking, his own aura exploding in a mix of red and blue light. He's channeling a technique called Void Shatter, and it looks absolutely devastating. The energy starts to concentrate at the tip of his spear, crackling with raw power. This is the grand achievement level, and the air itself seems to vibrate around him. With a massive boom, a pillar of blue light rips through the forest, leveling trees and turning the ground to glass. It's a total display of overwhelming force. A massive oak tree is snapped like a toothpick by the shockwave. The power behind this void-shattering finger is unlike anything we've seen so far. Wait, that wasn't Su-hong, it was Ye-feng. He's using a high-level B-class skill that creates a web of deadly blue energy beams all over the clearing. The light beams crisscross the area like a giant laser trap. Su-hong is sweating now, realizing he might have underestimated the brat's secret moves. He looks around at the glowing web, his mind racing for an opening. A B-class skill is no joke, and one wrong step could mean losing a limb. Ye-feng is panting, a crazed look in his eyes as he threatens to hunt down and kill Su-hong's whole family once he gets back to base. Big mistake, buddy. You never threaten a protagonist's family. Su-hong's face goes completely dark, his eye flashing with a terrifying blue light. The air around him starts to hum with an intense killing intent that's physical enough to feel. He blitzes toward Ye-feng with such speed he becomes a black blur. The blue energy web doesn't even slow him down. He's coming for the kill. Ye-feng is stammering now, trying to use his influential family as a shield. He's babbling about his uncle, the supervisor, and his father, but Su-hong isn't listening anymore. He appears behind Ye-feng in a flash, wreathed in a terrifying red and blue aura. He whispers that he liked him better when he was acting all high and mighty just now. Su-hong grabs him by the hair, his expression colder than ice. The time for talking is officially over. With a massive boom, he delivers a brutal fist straight into Ye-feng's face, shattering his nose and half his teeth in a single strike. That's for the family threat. He follows up with a spinning back kick that catches the brat right under the jaw. The sound of bone hitting bone is enough to make anyone wince. Yifeng is launched across the clearing like he's been hit by a truck, crashing into a pile of rocks with enough force to kick up a massive dust cloud. He's lying face down in the dirt, huffing and puffing as he tries to stay conscious. He's totally broken, realizing too late that Su Hong is clearly a full-fledged martial artist. Su Hong stands over his fallen enemy, wreathed in a terrifying red flame. He growls that Yifeng shouldn't have used his family to threaten him, his voice full of pure menace. Yifeng is barely able to speak, coughing up blood as he looks at Su Hong with pure terror. He's convinced he's looking at a monster. Suddenly, a massive shadow falls over both of them. Su Hong looks up and sees the black jade giant python. It's recovered its stamina and is ready for round 2. Yifeng looks up at the towering monster with eyes bugging out of his head. This is the definition of out of the frying pan and into the fire. The python's massive tail comes slamming down with the force of a falling building. Su Hong has to dive for cover as the entire clearing is practically leveled. Su Hong stands his ground, spear ready, but he's frustrated. He spent too much time dealing with these weaklings, and now the real threat is back and stronger than ever. Yifeng's thugs are scanning the woods, wondering if their boss finished the kid off. They have no idea they're about to be the next targets on the list. One of the lackeys catches a glimpse of movement. His eyes widen as he realizes Su Hong isn't just alive, he's coming right for them. Su Hong bursts out of the brush like a heat-seeking missile. The thugs are shocked, shouting for him to move, but our boy has a much better plan than running away. Big mistake. Su Hong isn't just charging them, he's leading the giant python right to their front door. The look on their faces when that massive head appears behind him is pure gold. The python lunges, and Su Hong uses the chaos to leap over the carnage. One thug gets absolutely snatched by the beast, and a system notification pops up. He indirectly killed an opponent martial artist and gained 30 martial value. Talk about a big brain move. Su Hong realizes he can farm martial value just by letting the snake do the dirty work. Another thug gets swatted away like a fly as Su Hong watches from the sidelines. The python's tail whips through the air, but Su Hong dodges it with millisecond precision. He's locked in, staring down the beast with those glowing blue eyes. He leaps into the air, spinning past another strike. The system pings again. He's finally accumulated enough martial value to break through and become a real martial artist. He spots a cave nearby and bolts for it, leaving the python and the remaining thugs in the dust. He needs a quiet spot to handle this breakthrough before the snake catches up. Su Hong dives into the dark cave entrance. It's not much, but it's the only cover he's got in this chaotic forest. The python isn't letting him go that easy. Its massive tail slams into the cliffside right above the entrance, shaking the entire mountain. The impact triggers a rock slide, completely burying the entrance in a cloud of dust and debris. Su Hong is trapped inside, but at least the snake can't get to him for a minute. Inside the pitch-black cave, Su Hong catches his breath while the python roars in frustration outside. He knows he's on the clock. It's time to level up or die. The snake tries to force its head into the narrow opening, hissing with pure malice. It's a literal horror movie scene, but Su Hong is busy looking at a digital menu. He pulls up his system screen, his martial value sitting at a sweet 504. He knows he needs to dump everything into vitality to survive this breakthrough. He thinks faster, 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 spamming the upgrade button like his life depends on it. The notifications are pinging like crazy as his stats start to climb. His body starts to glow a fierce, molten red. He grunts in pain, feeling like his blood has literally turned into magma. It's the most intense physical change he's ever felt. The system screen finally flashes a bright red, Vitality 100. He's hit the limit, and the real transformation is about to begin. The python peeks its glowing eye into the cave just as the breakthrough message appears. He's officially a Tier 1 martial artist. This snake picked the worst possible time to hang around. Su Hong stands up, wreathed in a massive aura of red and orange flames. He looks like a total badass, radiating a level of power that makes the air itself tremble. He clenches his fist, sparks flying as his energy stabilizes. He mutters that next it's his turn. The python actually flinches and starts to shrink back. It knows it messed up. The giant snake looks terrified, realizing the tiny human it was hunting has suddenly become a much bigger predator. Su Hong just stands there, looking absolutely lethal. He charges forward, his fist glowing with a blinding white light. He's not just punching, he's unleashing all that pent-up breakthrough energy in one go. With a massive boom, he connects a heavy strike right on the python's armored flank. The impact is so massive it practically lifts the giant snake off the ground. The python lets out a final, agonizing roar as a beam of golden energy rips through its body. Su Hong is making this Tier 1 beast look like a joke now. We get a close-up of the snake's face, battered and bleeding. Its eyes are dimming. The king of this forest has finally met its match. Su Hong isn't done yet, leaping into the air and charging up his Vajra fist. He's glowing with golden light, looking like a martial arts deity coming down for the kill. He hovers above the massive snake for a split second, a tiny figure against the giant's scales. The sheer scale of this fight is incredible. He slams his fist down with enough force to create a massive red shockwave that clears the entire area of trees and dust. This is the power of a true martial artist. The fight is over. Su-hong wipes a bit of sweat from his chin and grabs the snake's tail. He's looking cool as a cucumber after basically nuking a forest. He roars as he swings the entire massive weight of the python and slams it into the rocky floor. The sheer physical strength he has now is just insane. The giant beast hits the ground with a massive thud, kicking up a dust cloud that covers the entire clearing. It's officially out for the count. But Su-hong is a perfectionist. He charges up a thunder rush fist, electrical arcs jumping between his fingers as he prepares the final blow. He punches the ground, and a massive pillar of lightning energy erupts, completely incinerating whatever was left of the python's will to fight. The roar of the thunder echoes for miles. From a top-down view, the blast radius is staggering. It looks like a bomb went off in the middle of the woods. The dust finally clears, leaving Su-hong standing in the center of a scorched battlefield. The forest is quiet now, and our boy is officially the strongest thing for miles. He stands on top of the dead python, checking his system. His martial value has jumped up by 921 points. That's one heck of a payday. He sits on the snake's head, thinking about the bounty. He wonders what he should do, since snakes don't have ears. In this world, no ear means no money. Talk about a weird problem to have. A wide shot of the clearing shows the total devastation. Su-hong looks like a tiny speck next to the giant carcass of his victim. He picks up his spear and starts walking away. He's got what he came for, and it's time to head back to the base before things get even weirder. He stops by Ye Feng's broken body, looking down with zero pity. He thinks that ending up like this, Ye Feng got off easy. That's cold, but hey, Ye Feng was a total snake himself. He starts searching the body, hoping to find that high-level technique the brat was using. If you're going to be a villain, at least leave some good loot behind, right? Bingo. He finds a manual titled Void Breaking Finger. It looks old and powerful, exactly the kind of B-rank upgrade he needs to take his game to the next level. Night falls over the forest, and the giant python's body is just a dark silhouette in the moonlight. The silence has returned, but Su-hong's journey is just heating up. Inside a small cave, Su-hong has a fire going. He's already memorized the entire cultivation manual for the void-breaking finger, which is a total flex. He thinks to himself that, next, he'll use the system to master it quickly, sitting in a meditative pose. He's not wasting a single second of this trip. He enters the digital training space and faces his blue energy clone. He shouts for it to come on, ready to push his limits once again. The clone lunges forward with a strike that looks like it's breaking the air itself. Su-hong barely dodges, realizing this B-rank skill is on a completely different tier of difficulty. The training is intense, with Su-hong dodging beams of light and throwing his own strikes. Status bars are popping up everywhere as he slowly climbs toward the basic level. A close-up of the clone's eye shows the total focus. The bar reads, Void Breaking Finger. Basic 1%, it's slow going, but he's making progress. Su-hong is back in the real cave, coughing up a bit of blood. He thinks that as expected of a B-rank martial skill, just learning it to the basic realm brings him this much pressure. This stuff is no joke. 3 days later, he's out in the woods again and finds a massive grizzly bear looking for a fight. Perfect timing for a field test. He uses the void-breaking finger, and the impact is ridiculous. A massive pillar of blue light slams into the bear, looking like an orbital strike from a sci-fi movie. The bear is toast, and Su-hong stands tall with a glowing blue finger. He thinks that he's finally reached the perfect realm, and that it's truly worthy of a B-rank martial skill. Our boy is officially overpowered now. He makes it back to the martial artist base, which is buzzing with hunters. Everyone is looking a bit ragged, but Su-hong looks like he just got back from a spa day. The crowd is gasping over a haul of 230,000. That's a huge amount for most teams, and everyone's gathered around to gawk at the pile of beast parts. Another group is showing off their Tier 1 initial stage kills, feeling pretty good about themselves. They have no idea what's in Su-hong's bag. Su-hong drops a massive bag of loot on the counter, and the clerk's jaw hits the floor. 72 initial stage, 83 middle stage, and 17 high stage beasts, totaling a staggering 406,000 blue star coins. Su-hong realizes he might have overdone it as everyone in the lobby stares at him in total silence. He thinks to himself that he might have killed too many and it's too conspicuous. Yeah, no kidding, buddy. A massive red shockwave effect appears over the main headquarters building. Something big is going down, and the mood at the base shifts in an instant. The crowd inside is panicking because they heard the base was attacked. Everyone is shouting over each other, trying to figure out what could possibly take down a place full of high-level martial artists. Supervisor Ye Feng's uncle, walks out looking like he's ready to kill someone. He orders his men to blockade the entire base. Nobody is allowed to leave until he gets answers. Another official asks what happened, and Supervisor Ye drops the bombshell. His nephew Ye Feng and the 4 martial artists with him are all dead. He's absolutely fuming. A close-up of his face shows pure, unbridled rage. He doesn't just want the killer, he wants to burn down whoever dared to touch his family. Su-hong is in the crowd, trying to look surprised. The other hunters are whispering that Yifeng's whole team got wiped out, and the news is spreading like wildfire. The common hunters are actually happy about it. They're whispering that Yifeng was a total scourge who robbed everyone he could. One guy says it was a good kill, and he's not the only one thinking it. Supervisor Ye is walking through the crowd with a sinister look, telling his men that a B-ranked manual is missing from the body. He's ordering a full-body search of everyone at the base. Su-hong stays calm as he walks past the guards. He's confident that the way he left the bodies, looking like a python attack, will keep the heat off of him. He looks back at the angry supervisor with a cool gaze. He's got the manual and the money, and he's not about to let this guy take either of them. He wonders if they could be targeting him as the guards start eyeing him. He's the guy who just turned in a 400,000 credit haul, which is a pretty big target on his back. The crowd parts as Supervisor Ye and his thugs walk straight towards Su-hong. It looks like a high noon standoff in the middle of a futuristic fortress. Supervisor Ye is not buying it, claiming Su-hong looks like a rank 1 weakling at best. He's convinced our boy just scavenged his nephew's gear and orders his goons to search him immediately. The thugs approach with their fists literally on fire, telling Su-hong not to resist unless he wants things to get ugly. Su-hong just stands there, cool as a cucumber with his spear ready. Big mistake. In a blink of an eye, Su-hong has his spear tip inches from a thug's face. The guy didn't even see him move, his shades nearly falling off from the shock. Su-hong has all 3 thugs dead to rights, his spear leveled at their throats. The goons are completely frozen, realizing this kid is way faster than any of them could track. Su-hong casually drops that he's a student at Star City High No. 1, asking if they're really sure they want to cross that line. He's got that don't mess with me energy that's making the thugs sweat. Supervisor Ye is doing some quick math, knowing the principal of High No. 1 is a total nightmare to deal with. He starts thinking that if Su-hong actually hunted all those beasts himself, he's not just a student, he's a terrifying genius. Yi changes his tune fast, deciding it's not worth the trouble of offending the school. He asks for cooperation instead of a forced search, trying to play it cool while his goons stand down. He explains that his nephew was attacked and a family secret technique was stolen. He's desperate to find the culprit, and right now, Su-hong is the only one in the area who fits the bill. Su-hong glares back, warning Yi that he better not be accusing the wrong person. The tension in the air is thick enough to cut with a knife as they stare each other down. Supervisor Ye tries to sweeten the deal, offering 10,000 credits as compensation just for the search. He's basically trying to buy his way out of an awkward situation. 30,000, Su-hong counters without missing a beat. He knows Yi is desperate, and he's not about to let a perfectly good payday go to waste. The thugs search through Su-hong's bag and pat him down, but they come up completely empty-handed. One reports that there's nothing there, much to Yi's obvious frustration. Yi has no choice but to pay up, telling his men to give Su-hong the 30,000 and let him go. He's clearly annoyed, but he knows he's been outplayed. We get a quick flashback showing Su-hong burning that B-rank manual in the woods earlier. He's playing it smart, memorize the moves, burn the evidence, and leave no traces for the cops. Su-hong walks away with a heavy wallet, leaving the grumbling hunters behind. He's headed to the Martial Artist Association next to get his official assessment and see just how strong he's become. Later that night, Su-hong is chilling in a high-end hotel room at the base. It's a far cry from his cramped apartment, and he finally has some peace to check his gains. He pulls up his system and is shocked to see he's sitting on 534 martial Dao points. He's been so focused on survival that he didn't realize just how much he'd farmed from those beast kills. He looks at the progression chart. Rank 1 early stage is 100 vitality, while mid stage is 200. He realizes he has enough points to nearly reach the mid stage in one single jump. He notices his spirit and mortal frame stats haven't been touched yet. He's curious about what they actually do and decides to experiment with his massive surplus of points. He dumps some points into spirit, but honestly, he doesn't feel any different. No fireworks, no glowing eyes, just a number going up on a screen. Then he tries mortal frame, and whoa, his muscles start bulging immediately as the strength increase is obvious. This is the physical boost he was looking for. His new stats show vitality at 123 and spirit at 26.5. He's evolving right before our eyes, but he's not done yet. He goes all in, dumping every last point until he hits 0. His mortal frame is now at a massive 36.1%, and things are about to get intense. He decides to dump the absolute remainder into vitality and spirit, preparing for one final, massive surge of power. With a massive boom, Su-hong erupts in a red aura, his body literalizing the endless supply of power welling up inside. He looks like a miniature sun sitting on that hotel bed. Slowly, the energy starts to recede and his body begins returning to normal. It's like watching a volcanic eruption finally settle into a calm glow. He takes a deep breath, relieved that he's back to his usual look. He thinks with a tired grin that he wouldn't know how to explain it to people if he stayed stuck in that muscle-bound form. 1 hour later, Su-hong arrives at the Star City Martial Artist Association. The building is massive and high-tech, the official gateway to becoming a professional warrior. He checks in at the reception, telling the clerk he's here for his Rank 1 assessment. The lady looks professional, but you can tell she sees hundreds of hopefuls just like him every day. A staff member gives him the lowdown. To pass as a Rank 1, he needs at least 100 vitality and over 1,000 combat power. Su-hong just gives the cool thanks, knowing he's about to blow those numbers away. Some veteran-looking dudes in the lobby are whispering about him, laughing that he came alone without a master. They think he's just some kid testing the waters, but they're in for a massive surprise. We get a determined close-up of Su-hong's eye. He's blocking out the noise, focusing purely on the test ahead of him. The results from the guy ahead of him come in. Panjaya failed with only 992 combat power. He screams that he was so close, proving just how high the bar is set here. Next up is Li Ming, who clocks in at 105 vitality. He passed the first part, and the crowd starts to pay attention as he moves to the combat tester. Li Ming steps up to the machine, looking like a total pro in his fancy suit. He's taking a deep breath, focusing every ounce of his power for one single hit. He unleashes a massive punch with a focused roar. Blue energy trails behind his fist, showing he's definitely got some serious training under his belt. The screen flashes past with a combat power of 1,763. It's a solid score that gets the whole room buzzing with excitement. People realize he's using the Thunderclap fist and that he's a disciple from the Raging Thunder Dojo. They shout that it's no wonder he's such a genius, already crowning him the star of the day. His master gives him a proud pat on the back while Su-hong watches from the sidelines, looking totally unimpressed. This genius level is just a warm-up for our boy. Li Ming walks past Su-hong and snidely tells him he's next. He's got that smug, arrogant grin of someone who thinks he's already reached the top of the mountain. He leans in, whispering that he's only here at this age because he's a true genius. He laughs at Su-hong, telling him he shouldn't even bother trying to compare. The crowd's reaction a second later is just holy cow. The vitality tester just pinged, and people look like their heads are about to explode from what they're seeing. Su-hong's vitality is showing as 123. People are panicking, wondering if the tester is broken because they've never seen a score that high for a rookie. Li Ming is losing it, screaming that it's impossible. He was just bragging about being a genius, and now he's being totally eclipsed by the guy he was mocking. He tries to cope, telling himself that vitality means nothing without combat power. He's sweating bullets now, desperately hoping Su-hong flops on the actual physical test. Su-hong ignores the drama and steps up to the combat power tester. He looks relaxed, which only makes the onlookers even more nervous. He thinks to himself that since he just upgraded his physique, he probably only needs 40% of his power to pass. He's literally trying to hold back so he doesn't break the place. But then he worries that if he goes too easy, he might actually fail the requirement. He's having a minor existential crisis about how much of his own strength to use. He decides 50% is a safe bet, winding up his fist and getting into a low stance. You can see the air start to ripple around him from the sheer pressure. With a massive boom, he slams a regular punch into the tester. No fancy techniques, no glowing energy, just raw, unadulterated physical force. The impact is so massive, the entire machine is launched backward. It's flying across the arena like it's made of cardboard instead of heavy metal. The tester crashes into the far wall, sparking and smoking. Su-hong just stands there, looking like he just finished a light jog. The crowd is in total shock. Someone screams, asking if he sent the tester flying with one punch. People are terrified, especially when they realize he didn't even use a martial art. The score flashes on the board, 3004. People are stunned because a rank 1 high-stage warrior usually only hits 3000. Su-hong just hit that as a beginner. The staff are freaking out, calling him an absolute monster. The news is spreading through the building like wildfire. A legend is being born right in front of them. The instructor from the Raging Thunder Dojo is staring in disbelief. He finally realizes why his top student, Li Yan, got such a brutal beatdown at the dojo earlier. We cut to a high-angle shot of a luxury office at the top of the building. This is the inner sanctum of the association president. President Wulin Xian is looking stressed, scrolling through her phone. She's worried that her branch hasn't produced any geniuses lately, and she's at risk of losing her job. Suddenly, her assistant bursts through the door, screaming that a monster has appeared in the assessment hall. He's so excited he nearly trips over the carpet. The president looks up, her eyes wide with shock. She's told that a rank 1 rookie hit 3000 combat power with nothing but raw strength. Her luck might have just changed. Su-hong is being led through the massive central hall of the Martial Artist Association. The place looks like a high-tech airport, buzzing with warriors and staff as our boy heads for the second floor. The staff member in shades tells Su-hong that they'll register his official identity and then head over to collect his monthly allowance. Su-hong gives a polite thanks, keeping his cool despite the intimidating surroundings. Suddenly, a pair of stylish boots stops at the top of the stairs. A voice cuts through the noise, telling the staff member to step aside because she'll be handling Su-hong personally. It's President Wu Lingxian, and man, she knows how to make an entrance. With her long blonde hair and sharp outfit, she looks more like a supermodel than a battle-hardened warrior, but that aura is the real deal. She gives Su Hong a piercing look and introduces herself as the president of the Star City branch. She tells him to follow her, and you can tell she's not used to being told no. Su Hong follows along, his mind racing. Rumor has it she's a Tier 5 martial artist, which is absolutely insane for someone who looks that young. He's starting to realize he's playing in the big leagues now. They step into her private office, and it's every bit as posh as you'd expect for the head of the association. Sunlight floods the room as Su Hong takes a seat, wondering what's coming next. President Wu leans back on her couch, mentioning that Su Hong's principal was complaining about how the school hid such a big genius. She's clearly intrigued by the kid who broke the combat tester. Su Hong is a bit confused, explaining he only came here for his ID and a basic guidance technique, but Wu tells him not to worry. She's already had the staff downstairs handle the paperwork and his paycheck. She drops a bombshell. She's going to teach him the guidance technique personally. For a rookie like Su Hong, getting a private lesson from a Tier 5 president is basically like a cheat code. She stands up, looking serious. She asks how much he understands about guidance techniques right now, testing his knowledge before they get to the good stuff. Su Hong recites the textbook definition. Qi has attributes, and guidance techniques are how you absorb that energy to strengthen your body. He's clearly done his homework, but textbooks only tell half the story. Wu explains that guidance techniques aren't just for cultivation. She demonstrates the heavenly flame technique, and her hand immediately starts glowing with a fierce orange light. She shows him how the key can be wrapped around a fist to increase lethality. It's not just about getting stronger, it's about turning your body into a living weapon of fire. Then she takes it to the next level, unleashing a massive pillar of fire that fills the room. She explains that external release can even increase your attack distance, making you deadly from a range. Su Hong is floored. He thought these techniques were just for sitting around and meditating, but seeing the president blast fire across the room has completely changed his perspective. She explains the 7 attributes of Qi, metal, wood, water, fire, earth, thunder, and wind. Each one has its own strengths, and finding your match is the key to power. She breaks down the power rankings. Thunder is first in pure attack power, metal is second, and fire is third. She looks confident as she explains the hierarchy of the elements. She holds out a crystal ball, explaining that your compatibility determines which technique you can actually master. It's like a personality test, but with more explosions. Most artists have 20-30% compatibility, and she's a rare 80%. She tells Su Hong she expects a genius like him to maybe even hit 90%. Talk about high expectations? Su Hong takes the ball, thinking about how Wu reached Tier 5 so young with only 80%. He's nervous, wondering if his own score will live up to the hype. He touches the surface, and the ball immediately starts to react. He thinks reaching 90% would be exaggerated, but the system might have other plans for him. The ball doesn't just glow, it erupts. President Wu stammers out that it's full as the entire room is blinded by a 100% fire attribute compatibility reading. This kid is literally a human torch. Wu is sweating now, explaining that 100% means he can absorb fire Qi without losing a single trace of energy. It's a perfect efficiency that most warriors can only dream of. She's reeling from the shock, realizing she's looking at someone whose future achievements will make hers look like child's play. She knows Star City has produced a total monster. She leans in close, telling him he's a monster on par with the geniuses in the Magic City Imperial capital. Her respect for him just went through the roof. Su Hong holds the fire-glowing ball, but he's got a meh expression. Fire is cool and all, but he's really hoping he has a Thunder Spirit attribute instead. Ask, and you shall receive. The ball suddenly crackles with massive arcs of yellow lightning, completely replacing the fire. The sound of thunder fills the office. Su Hong casually notes that his thunder compatibility seems to be 100% too. President Wu is just standing there in total silence, probably questioning if she's actually hallucinating right now. The silence stretches on for an awkward amount of time. Su Hong is just holding a lightning ball like it's a nightlight while the president stares at him blankly. Wu is having an internal meltdown. She thinks to herself that a thunder and fire dual 100% compatibility is simply monstrous. She's never seen anything like this in her entire career. It gets worse. The ball turns a swirling green, and Su Hong pipes up, asking the president if the wind is 100% too. At this point, he's basically just showing off. A few minutes later, the two of them are sitting on the couch in a stunned daze. The tests are over, but the implications are just starting to sink in. Wu is clutching her head, wondering if she's dreaming. All 7 attributes were a full 100%. She's officially been out-geniused in her own office. She thinks back to her own youth, where she was considered a rare phoenix feather at Tier 5. Now, compared to Su Hong, she feels like an ordinary pigeon. We see a vision of President Wu in her battle gear, looking fierce as she faces down a world beyond common sense. A massive monster roars in the background, a reminder that the world is a dangerous place even for the strong. Wu realized during that battle that she was just an ordinary person compared to the true threats. She remembers seeing existences that defy understanding, warriors who move in ways that regular people can't even track. And now, she's sitting next to one. A mysterious figure with a giant sword stands over a defeated foe. Wu knows that only those equally beyond common sense can survive what's coming. Back in reality, she looks at Su-hong. He's an existence that ordinary people literally cannot understand. He's the ace she's been waiting for. Su-hong is actually distressed. If he has all 7 attributes at 100%, choosing only one feels like a total waste. He's suffering from success right now. He asks for a copy of the guidance techniques for all 7 attributes. Wu just stares at him, her brain probably short-circuiting again. She warns him that human energy is limited. She tells him about a guy who tried to learn all 7 and stayed at tier 1 for decades because he was spread too thin. Su-hong insists he just wants to try them all first, then decide. Wu eventually caves, but warns him not to mess around and waste his god-tier talent. She changes the subject to the upcoming monthly exam at his school. Su-hong is curious why she's bringing it up now. She explains that the War of 10,000 Races is intensifying and a massive conflict could erupt at any moment. The nations are pooling resources into genius training camps to prepare. If he takes first place in the monthly exam, she'll give him a recommendation spot for the camp. This is his ticket to becoming a top-tier warrior on the world stage. Su-hong agrees to work hard. He remembers losing his relatives in that war a decade ago, and his eyes harden with determination. A quick flashback shows him as a kid in the middle of a war-torn city. He knows he must become strong to protect the people he has left. He makes it home late that night, the moon hanging over his quiet apartment building. He's carrying the news that will change his family's life forever. He tells his uncle and aunt that he's officially passed the assessment and is now a tier 1 martial artist. They look absolutely stunned as he shows them the proof on his device. His aunt is moved to tears, praising him for how capable he's become. It's a huge emotional moment for a family that's struggled for so long. He explains that tier 1s get a 10,000 credit allowance every month. He tells his uncle he doesn't have to work desperately anymore. Su-hong is the pillar of the family now. Su-hong gives them a reassuring smile. He tells them not to worry, because from now on, he will hold up this family. He's finally able to be the protector he always wanted to be. Late that night, he sits cross-legged in his room, starting his first real cultivation session. Red energy swirls around him as he practices the heavenly flame technique. We get a close-up of his eyes glowing with power. He's pushing his chi to the limit, trying to master the external release the president showed him. He unleashes a wave of fire energy, but it looks messy and uncontrolled. He's putting in the work, but it's not as easy as the president made it look. Smoke rises from his fist as he huffs, clearly exhausted. The effort of channeling that much elemental chi is taking a toll on him. He looks at his hand, confused. He wonders if this is considered basic level and why it has no power at all. He's frustrated that he's not getting immediate results. He pulls up his system panel and notices a new guidance technique column has appeared. It looks like he really did learn it after all. It says, Heavenly Flame Guidance Technique, Live 1 5%. His eyes go wide. President Wu never mentioned that these techniques had levels. He realizes that if she didn't mention it, then nobody else knows about levels. He wonders if it could be that only he can level up. This is his true secret weapon. His system can evolve the very techniques themselves. Su-hong is staring at his system screen, scratching his head. He's trying to figure out how to level up these new guidance techniques and wondering if he can just dump martial points into them like everything else. Denied. A big red insufficient martial value warning pops up, shutting that plan down real quick. Our boy just sighs, realizing he'll have to grind for more points later and settle for old school cultivation for now. Talk about multitasking. Su-hong is sitting in the center of a literal elemental tornado. He's trying to cultivate all 7 attributes at once, with fire and lightning swirling around him like he's the Avatar or something. Several hours later, the progress report is in, and it's not looking great. He's got thunder, water, earth, and wind all at level 1, but they're actively repelling each other inside his body. He's looking pretty rough, covered in sweat, and realizing that President Wu wasn't kidding. Trying to master 7 clashing attributes at once is a recipe for staying a tier 1 weakling forever because the internal friction is just too high. He stares at a flame flickering in his palm, deep in thought under the moonlight. Even though he has all 7 types of chi inside him now, he can only actually pull off using one at a time without his body freaking out. He thinks to himself, what if he just forces it? Famous last words, buddy. He tries to ignite a second attribute right on top of the fire, looking like he's about to play a very dangerous game of elemental chemistry. With a massive boom, the 2 attributes clash violently in his hand, resulting in a literal explosion in his face. It turns out that forcing opposites together just makes them go poof and disappear. He's not giving up though, thinking that since thunder and fire are similar, they should be able to fuse. He's concentrating like his life depends on it, arcs of electricity and tongues of flame dancing between his fingers. Another massive flash. He's really pushing his luck here, his hands glowing with a blinding mix of yellow and orange energy as he tries to weld the 2 elements together. The poor neighbors must be terrified because explosions are rocking his apartment all night long. He's shouting for one more time as the building literally shakes from his failed attempts. Fast forward to dawn, and the apartment is still standing, barely. The sun is coming up, and Soo-hong has spent the entire night basically being a human firecracker. He's looking absolutely trashed, gasping for air and dripping with sweat. He feels like he's just a tiny bit more away from cracking the code, his hands trembling as he goes for one last try. He roars for it to fuse for him, unleashing a massive surge of power that lights up the whole room. Lightning and fire are spiraling around him in a chaotic storm of raw energy. Success. He lets out a triumphant shout as a concentrated orb of plasma forms between his palms. It looks like he's holding a miniature sun, and the heat coming off it must be insane. He's finally done it. He's holding the fused Thunderfire orb, looking like he's ready to collapse, but wearing the most satisfied grin ever. This is a game changer for his attack power. No rest for the wicked. He throws on his gear and grabs his spear. He's headed out to find a proper place to test just how much damage this new combo can actually do. He arrives at the Star City Citizen Martial Arts Square, which is thankfully deserted at this hour. It's got the big testing equipment he needs to see his new numbers. He spots a Tier 3 combat power tester. This one is built much tougher than the one he wrecked at school. He thinks to himself that surely it won't break this time. Bold prediction, man. First, a control test. He throws a 30% power punch using only the Thunder attribute. Even at less than half strength, the impact looks pretty significant. The screen blinks 234.3, which is way higher than he expected. 30% power should have been around 1800, meaning his base strength has increased by 500 just from the new cultivation. He's staring at his hand in total awe. If just one attribute is this cracked, he can only imagine what the fused energy is going to do to that poor machine. Here goes nothing. He winds up for a second punch, this time channeling the fused thunder and fire energy into his fist. The glow is blinding, crackling with arcs of plasma. With a massive boom, he slams the fused strike into the tester, causing an explosion of red and gold light. It looks more like a missile strike than a punch. The display screen flashes 3041. He officially broke the 3000 mark using only 30% of his power. This dude is becoming a walking cheat code. He realizes that with his upgraded physique and fused energy, his 30% strength already eclipses a high stage rank 1 martial artist, and his vitality is only at 123. That's actually terrifying. He starts daydreaming about what fusing all 7 attributes would look like. If just 2 can do this, a 7-element fusion would probably turn him into a literal god. He's already planning his next grind, looking at a flame in his hand. He's going back to his room to try and master a 3-attribute fusion next. The man has zero chill. Another late night on the rooftop. You can see him from a distance, a tiny speck of light in the middle of the dark city as he continues his dangerous experiments. He's looking completely worn out again, admitting that fusing 3 attributes is on a whole different level of difficulty. He's tried all night and made exactly 0 progress. He checks his system screen, showing level 1 for 5 different guidance techniques. He starts wondering if he needs to level these up individually before he can successfully fuse more of them. The next day at school, the stadium is packed with students in tracksuits. It's a huge turnout for the monthly exam, and the atmosphere is super tense. The principal is giving a heavy speech, explaining that this month's exam is special because of the rising tensions on the front lines. They're looking for the best of the best for a new training program. He announces a genius training camp organized by the city, promising top-tier resources and even Tier 7 grandmasters as instructors. The top 3 students will get a direct invite. The crowd goes wild. Everyone is roaring and hyped to win a spot. Soo-hong's friend is especially pumped about the Tier 7 instructors, since their own teacher is only Tier 3. Soo-hong is sweating bullets though. President Wu told him he needs to take first place to get her recommendation, so top 3 just isn't going to cut it for him. He overhears some gossip about Chen Shan and Li Tu both breaking through to rank 1 martial artist recently. Apparently, they've already mastered the Thunder Rush Fist to the basic level. Turns out that Senior Chen Tian has been giving them private lessons because of their talent. The other students are already convinced that nobody else stands a chance against those two. Chen Shan and Li Tu are looking incredibly smug as they walk past. Chen Shan is talking big, saying he's going to beat everyone into the ground to show who the true number 1 is. Principal Li and Chen Tian are having a private chat, with Chen Tian asking if they found that 9 Echo's genius from before. Li admits he's searched everywhere but turned up nothing. Suddenly, Chen Tian stops and turns around, sensing something in the crowd. He lets out a curious sound, his eyes narrowing as he looks over the sea of students. A group of suits arrives, led by Jiang Ming from the Raging Thunder Dojo. He's walking with a lot of swagger, flanked by his disciples Li Yan and Li Ming. Jiang Ming greets his old comrade with a jab about the quality of the school's students. He challenges the school's first-place winner to a spar with his own disciples after the exam. Principal Li is fuming, realizing this guy is only here to embarrass the school in front of everyone. He knows if he refuses, he's basically admitting his students are weak. Ming keeps pushing, mockingly saying he understands if they want to refuse. Li Tu is clearly offended, looking like he's ready to jump this guy right now for calling them trash. Li Yan is in the back, and he looks like he's just seen a ghost. He taps his teacher's shoulder, sweating and pointing toward a specific kid in the crowd. Ming starts to ask which Su he means, but as he turns his head, his eyes go wide. He's finally spotted the little monster he was warned about. It's Su Hong, just casually strolling along with his hands in his pockets. He looks completely relaxed, but the Raging Thunder Dojo guys are practically having a panic attack. Ming is internally screaming. He can't believe the kid who beat his best students is actually a student at this exact school. Talk about a worst-case scenario. He realizes that if Li Yan or Li Ming have to fight this kid, they are going to get absolutely crushed. He's desperately trying to figure out a way to save face. He does a complete 180, immediately conceding and saying his trash disciples couldn't possibly compare to the school's geniuses. It's a total white flag move. Principal Li and Chen Tian are both baffled and angry. They think Jiang Ming is being super sarcastic and mocking them by pretending to be humble. They have no idea he's actually terrified. The monthly exam officially kicks off. The announcer calls for match number 665 Chen Peng and number 666 Su Hong to step into the arena. Su Hong's buddy is worried, telling him his first opponent is a quasi-martial artist and to not get injured. Su Hong just gives a blank look, like, dude, really? The opponent, Chen Peng, is already talking trash. He asks Su Hong if he's going to walk down himself, looking totally overconfident. He yells for Su Hong to be beaten down, charging in with a glowing fist. He thinks he's about to get an easy win against a random student. With a massive crack, Su Hong unleashes a high-speed kick that catches the guy right in the chest. The impact is so massive it looks like Chen Peng got hit by a speeding train. The dude is sent flying into the distance, crashing onto the arena floor in a heap. The fight was over before most people even realized it started. The crowd is stunned into silence. Su Hong's friend is bugging out, wondering when old Su became such a fierce monster. The principal and Chen Tian are staring in disbelief. Su Hong just stands there calmly, looking bored while energy swirls around him. He just one-shotted a quasi-martial artist like it was nothing. The tournament just got interesting. Su Hong secures another victory, standing tall as his opponent lies defeated in the dust. The crowd is absolutely losing it, wondering how this kid can possibly be so strong and if he's already reached Tier 1. The teachers, Chen Tian and Principal Li, are watching from the balcony with stunned expressions. Chen Tian is baffled, wondering where this Su Hong kid even came from and why he didn't notice him during his private tutoring sessions. Chen Tian realizes he's made a massive mistake by not prioritizing Su Hong earlier, essentially burying a once-in-a-lifetime talent. He also gets a nagging feeling that he's seen the kid somewhere before, but he just can't place it yet. Principal Li turns his attention back to the ring, noting that the semifinal between the school's top dogs, Chen Shan and Li Tu, should be wrapping up soon. The two geniuses are locked in a high-speed clash, their movements a total blur of kicks and blocks. They seem perfectly matched in both speed and power, neither one willing to give an inch. Li Tu is the first to escalate, his fist wreathed in crackling blue energy as he prepares his Thunder Rush fist. He mocks Chen Shan, telling him he has no hope of winning unless he uses his ultimate move right now. Chen Shan isn't backing down, meeting the challenge with a determined roar. He's determined to prove he's the true number one of the school as he powers up his own strike. He unleashes a punch glowing with a fierce, fiery orange aura. He calls out attribute externalization, showing everyone that he's already mastered the ability to project his elemental ki. The crowd goes wild seeing Chen Shan use the fire attribute, which is known for its immense destructive power. Everyone thinks he's got this match in the bag, but the competition is about to get even crazier. Li Tu just scoffs, asking who can't do attribute externalization these days. He suddenly flares with a brilliant white-blue aura, his own element starting to take shape around his fists. The students are even more shocked now. Li Tu reveals he has the metal attribute, which is famous for having even higher raw combat power than fire. It's a literal clash of the titans in the arena. Li Tu lunges forward, looking like a human bullet as his metal energy pulses. He's got one more trick up his sleeve to end this fight once and for all. He bellows the name 5 Echoes, Thunder Rush Fist, unleashing a devastating strike that echoes through the entire stadium. This is way beyond what most Tier 1 artists can pull off. The two top students collide in a massive explosion of fire and metal energy. The impact creates a huge shockwave that fills the screen with dust and light. Up on the balcony, the teachers are genuinely impressed that Li Tu hid his 5 Echoes mastery so deep. Chen Tian notes that in just 10 days, he mastered externalization and reached the micro level. Talk about a monster talent. Principal Li thinks the final is already decided, claiming there's no way Su Hong can beat Li Tu's micro-level mastery and metal attribute. He actually feels bad for Su Hong, thinking he's at a total disadvantage without a guidance technique. Suddenly, that flashy guy in the suit steps up and bets 50,000 credits that Su Hong takes first place. He's looking to make a killing while the teachers are busy counting Su Hong out. The final match is officially called Number 1 Li Tu versus Number 666 Su-hong. Su-hong's buddy is cheering like a madman in the stands, telling him to go take that championship trophy. Li Tu is already talking trash, telling Su-hong he's only lucky he didn't meet him or Chen Shan earlier. He claims Su-hong just sneaked his way into the finals while the real pros were busy. Su-hong just stares at his hands, looking totally bored with the conversation. He's thinking that after hunting real monsters in the wild, these school kids feel like they're moving in slow motion. Li Tu keeps it coming, condescendingly telling Su-hong he can claim to be number 2 in the whole school since he made it this far. He really thinks he's already won. Su-hong gives him a cool side-eye and asks who number 1 is. He calmly walks forward, pointing at himself and dropping the ultimate flex. Number 1 is naturally me. Li Tu is triggered, charging forward with a roar. He tells Su-hong he only needs one single move to show him how massive the gap between them really is. He goes all out from the start, unleashing the 5 Echoes Thunder Rush Fist. The crowd is convinced it's over, thinking Su-hong is bound to lose against such a high-level attack. We get a terrifying close-up of Su-hong's eyes glowing with an intense golden light. He's perfectly calm, treating this ultimate move like a simple warm-up exercise. Li Tu's glowing fist is millimeters from Su-hong's face. Su-hong just thinks to himself that he only wanted to see what his own physical limits were before getting serious. The students are panicking, thinking Su-hong is insane for not dodging. He just stood there and raised his fists to meet the attack head-on, which looks like a total death wish. You can see 5 distinct bangs as Su-hong counters every single one of Li Tu's high-speed punches. He's reading the ultimate move like an open book. In a flash, Su-hong lands a heavy counterpunch right through Li Tu's guard. The impact is so clean and powerful, it completely halts Li Tu's momentum. Li Tu is absolutely reeling, his eyes wide with shock. He can't wrap his head around the fact that Su-hong neutralized his best move with just 5 basic punches. The exchange continues as a blur of motion in the center of the ring. Su-hong is matching a high-level martial art with nothing but his raw physical strength. Li Tu thinks to himself, asking if this guy is a monster as he struggles to keep up. Every one of Su-hong's punches feels like it's being thrown by a giant, despite him not using any special skills. The crowd is losing their minds, realizing Su-hong hasn't even used a martial art yet. They're calling his raw strength too terrifying as he holds his own against the school's top genius. Principal Li is ecstatic, convinced Su-hong must possess a rare special physique. He's already laughing and taking credit for his school producing such a legendary genius. But Chen Tian is more observant, noting that while Su-hong's strength is insane, Li Tu's metal attribute externalization should still give him the final edge. He's not ready to crown a new king just yet. The two warriors trade a massive blow and skid back to opposite sides of the arena. The floor is cracked under their feet, showing just how much power they're throwing around. Li Tu is screaming now, telling Su-hong not to be arrogant because the winner can only be him. He's reaching his limit, both physically and mentally. He charges in for one final, desperate strike, his metal energy flaring brighter than ever. He yells for Su-hong to give him defeat, putting every ounce of his soul into the attack. Su-hong just sighs, looking completely unfazed. He thinks to himself that he originally wanted to see his physical limits, but Li Tu forced his hand by going full tilt. Time to end this. Su-hong clenches his fist and it explodes with intense yellow electricity. He mutters that since Li Tu attacked with full power, then he must also show some respect. He throws a massive punch wreathed in lightning, simply saying, "Thunder." The sheer pressure from the move makes the entire arena shake. Li Tu's face is a mask of pure horror as he gasps, asking if Su-hong can also use attribute externalization. He's realizing he's been fighting someone way beyond his level this whole time. Up on the balcony, the teachers are practically falling over themselves. They can't believe what they're seeing. Su-hong is a master of the thunder attribute, the strongest element of them all. Chen Tian is screaming in shock. A special physique plus the strongest attack power attribute, he realizes Su-hong's talent is truly terrifying and unlike anything he's ever seen. The lightning-infused punch connects, and the screen is filled with a blinding burst of golden energy. Su-hong is unleashing the full power of his Thunder Rush Fist. Li Tu is being launched backward through the air by the sheer force of the lightning strike. He didn't even have a chance to block. It was a total one shot. A massive pillar of golden electricity rips through the center of the arena, looking like a literal orbital strike. Su-hong is just standing in the middle of the storm, looking like a god of war. The impact sends Li Tu flying across the field, his body battered and smoking from the electrical discharge. He's completely out for the count before he even hits the ground. He gasps out how 9 echoes are possible with his last bit of consciousness. He finally realizes he just faced a perfection-level master. Li Tu collapses into the dirt, coughing up blood. It's a total, humiliating defeat for the guy who thought he was the undisputed number 1. Su-hong stands over his fallen opponent with a calm, neutral expression. He's not even breathing hard, looking like he could go for another 10 rounds if he had to. The rest of the top-ranked students are shown in the background, completely speechless. Their jaws are on the floor as they realize the hierarchy of the entire school was just rewritten. The crowd finally finds its voice and erupts into a massive roar. They wonder if Suhong really won, calling his 9 echoes technique god tier and fiercer than even the teachers. Chen finally puts it all together. 9 echoes, the mysterious genius from the field. It was Suhong all along. He realizes he's looking at a dragon that Star City is way too small to hold. He thinks about the upcoming training camp and can only imagine the shock when this monster shows up to face the geniuses from the prominent families. They have no idea what's coming for them. Suhong is shown walking away through the city, hands in his pockets, looking like a total boss. The narration says Star City is nothing more than a small puddle for a dragon like him. Principal Lee gives a proud nod, calling Suhong a dragon rising from the abyss. He knows the kid is destined to soar in the imperial capital or even the battlefield of 10,000 races. Suhong returns home as the sun sets, casting a beautiful orange glow over the city skyline. He calls out a greeting to his uncle and auntie, ready to share some big news. Inside, his family is gathered around the dinner table, and Suhong drops the bombshell with a confident grin. He announces that he got first place, showing off the results of all his hard training. His uncle is absolutely floored, repeating first place with pure shock and joy. He realizes this means Suhong has officially secured a spot in that elite training camp they talked about. Suddenly, the peaceful atmosphere is broken by a loud, aggressive knocking at the door. Suhong's expression shifts instantly as he senses a less than friendly visitor. A woman's voice screams from outside, demanding to know if this is Suhong's house. She doesn't sound like she's here to offer congratulations. Suhong opens the door to find a well-dressed but arrogant-looking woman standing there. He simply asks who she is as he sizes up the unexpected guest. The woman introduces herself as Lin Yan's parent, whose son ranked 4th, just missing the cut. She's here with a shameless proposal, asking Suhong to give up his hard-earned spot for her son. She doesn't waste any time, offering him 30,000 credits to walk away from the training camp. She thinks money can buy her son a future that he didn't earn. Suhong just stares at her, completely unimpressed by the bribe. His uncle and auntie are standing in the background looking bewildered by this woman's audacity. When Suhong doesn't immediately bite, she changes tactics and tries to scare him. She claims the training camp is extremely cruel and that people could actually die in the competition. She continues her arrogant lecture, telling Suhong that he doesn't have the same resources as the rich geniuses who eat high-grade pills. She condescendingly tells him that giving up is for his own good. The scare tactics worked on Suhong's aunt, who looks terrified as she asks if the camp is really that dangerous. His uncle tries to keep everyone calm while the tension in the room spikes. His uncle turns to Suhong with a very serious expression, needing to know the truth. He ignores the woman's chatter and asks his nephew point-blank if he can guarantee his own safety. Without a moment's hesitation, Suhong looks his uncle right in the eye and declares that he can. His resolve is unshakable, and he's not about to let a bully talk him out of his dreams. The woman scoffed at a child's guarantee, but Suhong's uncle isn't having it. He shuts her down immediately, telling her that he trusts his family over some random stranger any day. The confrontation ends with the uncle's foot firmly planted, telling the arrogant lady to please leave. He slams the door right in her face, ending the discussion for good. The woman is left fuming outside the closed door, her face contorted in rage. She screams that they'll regret it, and that Suhong will just be eliminated from the camp anyway. As she stomps away, Suhong turns to his uncle, feeling a bit guilty about not being fully honest about the dangers. But his uncle just gives him a supportive look, signaling that it's all fine. His uncle admits he's a rough man who doesn't understand the camp details, but he trusts Suhong's education and judgment. He says with a grin that since he has the resolve to face difficulties, then they support him. He gives Suhong a big thumbs up, showing his total confidence in his nephew's path. It's the kind of support that makes all the brutal training worth it. His aunt is still worried though, pushing the uncle aside to tell Suhong she doesn't care about rankings. She just wants him to come home safe, no matter what happens at the camp. Suhong gives her a warm, reassuring smile and a simple nod. He's touched by their love and determined more than ever to succeed for their sake. Later that night, the city lights twinkle below as Suhong stands alone on his apartment roof. The peace of the moment is a stark contrast to the challenges he knows are coming. He stares out over the skyline, resolving to become even stronger so he can protect this hard-earned life. He knows his family is secretly worrying, and he can't let their expectations down. He pulls up his status screen, noting that he gained 285 martial value from the monthly exam matches. It's a good haul, but he knows it's not nearly enough for what's ahead. He decides to prioritize his physical combat power to keep up with the unknown geniuses at the camp. He taps the screen to start dumping points into his mortal body stat. A surge of red energy envelops Suhong as the system begins the upgrade process. You can see the numbers ticking up as his physical frame is pushed beyond human limits once again. His mortal body hits 64.6%, and he can feel a massive increase in his raw strength. He wonders what kind of special physique he'll unlock once he reaches a full 100%. Suddenly, he notices something unexpected on the panel. Both his Thunder and Heavenly Flame guidance techniques have hit level 2. He's genuinely surprised since he hasn't been focusing on them. He theorizes that normal cultivation alone is enough to level up these techniques over time. It's a massive relief to know his basic routine is yielding such high-level results. He thinks in that case, he'll strive to level up one more time as sparks and flames dance between his hands. He's pushing himself to the limit through the night to squeeze out every bit of power. Dawn breaks over the city as Su-hong finishes his intense session. He's exhausted, but the light in his eyes shows he hasn't wasted a single minute. We get a close-up of his glowing eyes as the final breakthrough occurs. The morning sun isn't the only thing rising today. He sits cross-legged in the center of a chaotic swirl of elements as his techniques hit level 3. The aura coming off him is much more refined and dangerous than before. His vitality jumped by another 3 points as a side effect. He's ecstatic about this unexpected harvest, seeing his path to the top becoming clearer by the day. The day of departure arrives, and Su-hong's uncle walks him down to the street. He gives one last reminder to stay safe and just come home if things get too dangerous. Su-hong waves goodbye, heading off with his spear strapped to his back. His uncle shouts for him to bring back another first place, his earlier worry replaced by competitive spirit. As Su-hong walks down the busy city street, he's a picture of calm confidence. He looks like just another student, but he's carrying the hopes of his entire family. Back at the apartment entrance, his aunt and uncle watch him go. The uncle admits he was only acting tough to keep Su-hong from worrying, showing just how much they both care. Su-hong continues through the commercial district, his focus internal as he mentally prepares for the camp. He has no idea that a high-speed visitor is about to catch up to him. Suddenly, he senses something and looks over his shoulder. The sound of a roaring engine and screeching tires cuts through the morning air. A flashy red sports car skids to a halt right next to him on the sidewalk. It's a total showstopper, and everyone on the street stops to stare at the expensive ride. President Wu is behind the wheel, looking incredibly cool in her sunglasses. She gives a simple get-in, and you can tell she's not the type of person who waits around for an answer. The red car rockets down the highway, weaving through traffic with professional speed. Su-hong is getting a first-class ride to his new future. We see the car blurred by speed as they head toward the training grounds. Su-hong is finally on the move, leaving the safety of his home for the unknown challenges ahead. Su-hong asks what the president needed him for, figuring this isn't just a friendly carpool. He's curious about why the head of the association is taking a personal interest in him. President Wu looks serious as she explains she has the profiles of the other participants. She's here to give him a reality check about the monsters he's about to face. She warns him that some of the candidates are already Tier 1 high-stage artists, nearly at Tier 2 already. Su-hong listens intently, sizing up the competition before he even arrives. She adds that these monsters possess at least B-rank martial skills as their starting point. It's a massive advantage compared to the basic techniques most students learn. Su-hong isn't intimidated though. He knows he can quickly master any B-rank skill once he gets his hands on them in the system space, keeping his calm exterior intact. Wu tells him his talent is the best she's ever seen, but he's just lacked the same resources until now. She encourages him not to get discouraged by initial setbacks, because his success is inevitable. Su-hong gives her a sincere thank you, calling her Sister Wu and acknowledging her support. He's ready to show the world that Star City has its own legends in the making. Wu watches him from the corner of her eye, impressed by how calm he remains after hearing about his superior rivals. She realizes she doesn't need to worry about his mental state. This kid is built for the pressure. Our story moves to the Tianlin mountain range, where a lone black car is winding its way up a steep road. The peaks are covered in snow, and you can already tell this place is miles away from the city's safety. Inside the car, Principal Lee is giving Su-hong a final heads up. He tells him not to worry too much because there are grandmasters guarding the training camp, so his life shouldn't be in any real danger, normally. Su-hong looks out the window, deep in thought. He knows this mountain range is a massive beast-infested territory spanning multiple cities, and there are rumors of beast kings inside that can rival Tier 7 grandmasters. The competition among the monsters here is on a whole different level. Even the Tier 1 beasts hanging out in the outer ring are known for being exceptionally brutal compared to the ones in the city outskirts. Case in point, we see a massive three-eyed tiger casually snacking on another beast. This place is a literal meat grinder where only the strongest or the fastest survive the night. The tiger lets out a bone-chilling roar that echoes through the trees. These aren't your textbook monsters. They're far more vicious, and even Tier 2 warriors think twice before setting foot in these woods alone. The black van speeds past a dense tree line with a swishing sound. The atmosphere is getting heavier with every kilometer they drive deeper into the wilderness. Deep in the shadows of the forest, multiple sets of glowing red eyes are watching the car pass by. Two massive bears are lurking in the brush, just waiting for someone to step out of that metal box. Inside the car, the other two students are starting to sweat. One of them asks if it's just him, or if something is definitely watching them from the woods, fearing a sudden beast ambush. Su-hong stays stoic, his eyes fixed on the forest. He realizes the competition in the camp will probably be just as bloody as the beasts tearing each other apart out there, and surprisingly, he's actually starting to enjoy the feeling. The car finally pulls up to the training camp base, which is basically a fortified town of tents and high fences. From above, you can see groups of students already gathering for the big show. Su Hong and the others hop out, backpacks on and weapons ready. He scans the crowd, genuinely curious to see just how strong the geniuses from other cities really are. The place is packed with students in all sorts of tactical gear, and some of them look like they've already seen some serious action. The vibes are definitely survival of the fittest right now. Two guys in matching school tracksuits give the newcomers a silent, judgmental stare. The tension is already through the roof, and nobody's even thrown a punch yet. Su Hong looks totally in his element, his blue eyes calm as he adjusts the strap of his spear bag. He's not here to make friends, he's here to take that #1 spot. The group starts moving toward the main camp area. Su Hong is already standing out just by how relaxed he looks compared to everyone else who's visibly shaking in their boots. A camp official reaches out a hand, stopping them. He tells them they need to wait right there for everyone else to arrive before they can officially start. Su Hong is surprised to hear there's an entrance assessment just to get into the actual camp. These guys really don't make anything easy, do they? Someone shouts that they're here, and Su Hong looks over to see the big shots arriving. He mutters about how the big clans always love to make a grand entrance and act like they own the joint. A fleet of high-end sports cars and SUVs roars into the camp, kicking up a massive cloud of dust. These must be the rich kids who don't have to worry about unlucky beast ambushes. The car doors swing open, and the VIPs step out into the dirt. The crowd is already whispering about Goddess Xiao Yan and how cool and beautiful she is. We get the profile on the heavy hitters. Xiao Yan is a spiritual master, Lin Xinghe is almost tier 2, and Qin Jingshu is the city lord's son with a special physique. This is the monster tier President Wu warned him about. The three geniuses walk through the crowd like they're walking a red carpet. They radiate confidence and power, making every other student in the vicinity feel like a background character. Su Hong watches them from the sidelines, his eyes narrowed. He's comparing them to the descriptions he got, noting that these are definitely the top Star City geniuses he needs to beat. He thinks to himself that he'd like to see just how genius they really are. He's not intimidated at all. If anything, he's just found his next set of targets for his system. The head instructor, looking sharp in a business suit, finally steps forward to announce the rules. It's time for the talking to stop and the assessment to begin. He points toward the massive mountains in the distance. The actual training camp is 30 kilometers away, and getting there is the first part of the test. He holds up a wooden token, explaining that they've been hidden inside certain beasts in the area. No token, no entry, it's that simple and that brutal. The students are starting to panic. 30 kilometers in 8 hours sounds like a marathon, but doing it through a mountain range full of high-level monsters is more like a suicide mission. Su Hong, on the other hand, is doing the math and likes what he sees. 8 hours gives him plenty of time to detour, hunt some extra beasts, and rack up a mountain of martial Dao points. One student shouts out a worried question, asking what if they run into beasts way above their level. The instructor just gives him a cold look and says, "Then, tough luck, you'll be eliminated." The crowd erupts in complaints about how unfair it is and how it's all based on luck. They're terrified that a random encounter could end their careers before they even start. The instructor shuts them down instantly, yelling that the world isn't a children's game. He tells them that complaining about unfairness is a joke when a passing powerhouse can kill you in one hit on a real battlefield. His final advice is simple. If you don't want to die, act carefully. He doesn't care about their feelings, only their results. He says to avoid risks, bully the weak, and gang up on the few with the many, because that's the law of the battlefield. This guy isn't just an instructor, he's teaching them how to survive a war. Another student in a suit joins in on the mocking, calling everyone else trash. He's already looking down on his peers, clearly feeling superior because of his status. Someone shouts back for him to say that again if he dares. The suited guy just smirks, calling him a coward and a piece of trash, looking like he's ready to cripple someone right then and there. The instructor drops one last rule: no fighting is allowed in the camp, but once they hit the mountains, all bets are off. Stealing tokens or just beating people up is totally fair game. The violence starts immediately. The suited guy lands a brutal punch on one of the complainers, knocking him back while the others just watch in shock. This assessment is already getting bloody. Su Hong watches the chaos with a neutral expression. He realizes the camp is basically giving them a license to hunt each other, and he bets at least half of them won't even make it to the base. Instead of being worried, Su Hong is actually excited. He thinks about all the people he can spar with and realizes he can rake in a massive amount of martial Dao points today. The instructor clicks a stopwatch. He says the assessment starts now and for everyone to get moving, and just like that, the floodgates open. The entire group of students charges forward like a stampede. Everyone is pushing and shoving, desperate to get a head start into the forest. From above, you can see the students fanning out as they hit the tree line. The race is on, and the peaceful forest is about to get a lot noisier. The internal fighting starts within seconds. Two guys are already sprinting and trading insults, with one promising to send the other packing home before they even see a beast. Talk about zero chill. One guy uses a flaming fist to attack another student who barely blocks it with a blue energy shield. They're literally trying to sabotage their rivals before the first kilometer is done. The woods are already exploding with combat as students clash all over the place. It's a chaotic mess of elemental energy and physical strikes as everyone tries to eliminate the competition. The sounds of high-level martial arts ring out through the trees. These kids are being way more aggressive than anyone at Suhong School ever was. Blue beams and shockwaves are flying through the undergrowth. It looks like a war zone, and most of these geniuses haven't even looked for a token yet. Suhong stands calmly with his spear, watching a nearby fight. He's unimpressed, thinking the rumors were exaggerated and that these so-called geniuses aren't nearly as strong as they think. He decides to turn away and head deeper into the forest. He'd rather spend his energy hunting high-level beasts that actually give decent points than deal with these noisy schoolyard brawls. But he's stopped by a rich kid mocking another student, calling him poor trash. He's bragging about his family's generations of accumulated wealth and power, acting like hard work is a joke. The bullied student is stunned, unable to respond to the rich kid's trash talk. Suhong pauses, his eyes narrowing as he listens to the arrogant brat go off. A predatory grin spreads across Suhong's face. He realizes he can't let these free deliveries of martial Dao points just walk away. It's time to teach someone a lesson. He casually walks up and stands between the two arguing students. He tells them to stop fighting, sounding like a concerned bystander but looking like a predator. He leans his spear on his shoulder and gives them a cool look. He asks why they don't play with him instead, looking totally bored with their petty drama. The rich kid is livid, telling Suhong to mind his own business or get beaten up too. He's calling Suhong another poor trash and really testing his luck at this point. Suhong tells them both to stop wasting time and just team up against him. He's literally inviting them to a 2-on-1 just to make things interesting. The first guy takes the bait and charges in with a roar. He screams that Suhong dares to look down on him and that he's dead, throwing a heavy punch. Close-up of the incoming fist. Suhong doesn't even blink. He's already read the entire movement and is ready for the counter. Suhong delivers a devastating blue energy punch right into the guy's solar plexus. The impact is so hard the dude's eyes practically pop out of his head as he lets out a strangled groan. With a massive boom, the guy is launched backward by a blast of white energy, spinning through the air like a top. One down, one to go. The second student is paralyzed with fear, unable to believe his partner just got one-shotted. He's sweating bullets as he realizes Suhong's strength is on an entirely different level. He thinks to himself, what speed, but it's already too late. Suhong is a blur as he appears right in front of the kid, whispering that it's his turn. The second student can only gasp in shock as Suhong's spear case comes swinging in like a giant's club. He has zero time to block or dodge. With a loud boom, Suhong slams his weapon into the guy's head, sending a spray of blood and teeth into the air. That's 2 deliveries completed and a nice chunk of points in the bag. Big mistake picking a fight with the wrong guy. Suhong delivers a brutal punch to the rich kid's face, making his jaw look like it was hit by a brick. The dude's fancy suit isn't doing him any favors now as he lets out a pathetic groan. The bully is lying in the dirt, looking like a total loser. Suhong stands over him, casually leaning on his spear case and telling him that's what he gets for looking down on regular cultivators. We cut to a control room where instructors are watching everything through a wall of monitors. They're baffled, wondering where this kid came from since he just walked in and one-shotted both of the top prospects. One instructor asks if the 2 losers are eliminated, but the senior officer says no. Since they didn't officially request rescue, the assessment continues, giving those 2 jokers a chance to wake up and try again. The rich kid is finally coming to, groaning that his head hurts like hell. He looks dazed and confused, realizing his easy path to victory just hit a massive roadblock. He looks around, his vision still blurry, and spots the guy who was ganging up with him earlier. Neither of them looks like a high-level genius right now. The suited bully is absolutely livid, screaming that he's never been humiliated like this. He vows to catch Suhong and make him pay, which honestly sounds more like a hollow threat at this point. He punches the ground in frustration, thinking that if he hadn't underestimated the kid, there's no way he would have lost. Yeah, sure buddy, whatever helps you sleep at night. The 2 former enemies share a silent, awkward moment. They both just got their butts kicked by the same guy, and the reality of their situation is finally sinking in. The second guy actually apologizes, admitting that Suhong really is strong. It's a rare moment of humility for a guy who was calling people trash just 5 minutes ago. The suited guy accepts the apology, admitting he shouldn't have mocked him either. They're forming a losers club alliance, bonded over their shared defeat. They shout that they'll go find him and get their revenge, walking off into the woods together. They have no idea they're just walking back into another beatdown. Suhong is back to the grind, moving through the forest like a blue blur. He's not even winded, looking more like he's on a light jog than a survival mission. He stops and looks around, his eyes narrowing. He can sense something big moving in the brush nearby, and he's more than ready for a fight. A pack of Tier 1 lower stage giant tusk boars bursts out of the trees, huffing and puffing. Su-hong just sighs, thinking to himself that there sure are a lot of these weaklings in this part of the mountain. The boars charge at him with their massive tusks lowered, looking like living battering rams. They're kicking up a lot of dust, but Su-hong doesn't look impressed. One boar lets out a loud roar as it lunges for Su-hong. It's got red eyes and looks completely crazed, but our boy is already winding up for a counter. Su-hong unleashes a thunder rush fist, his hand glowing with intense yellow electricity. He catches the lead boar right in the face with a punch that probably felt like getting hit by lightning. With a massive boom, the impact is so great it clears a circle in the forest, sending the remaining boars flying in every direction. The sound of thunder echoes through the mountains. Su-hong stands over the fallen beasts, his fist still smoking. He's looking down at the carcasses, thinking that before, one kill would net him dozens of points, but now, he pulls up his system and is disappointed to see point rewards like +6, +7, and +9. Ever since he leveled up, these lower-level beasts just aren't giving him the same bang for his buck anymore. He starts searching through the boar's guts for a token, but it's looking pretty grim. He mutters that the dozen or so beasts he killed before had no tokens, starting to get frustrated with the loot drops. He's surrounded by a pile of dead boars, but his luck hasn't changed. He's starting to think that either he's in the wrong area or these low-level monsters just don't carry the goods. He wipes his hands and looks around the quiet clearing. He realizes that looks like only higher-level fierce beasts will have tokens inside them, knowing he needs to go deeper into the danger zone. Half an hour later, Su-hong is deeper in the woods, his movement becoming more deliberate. He's looking for the big fish now, his blue eyes scanning every shadow. He's puzzled, thinking that when he was only 5 kilometers in, he'd run into 10 beasts an hour. Now that he's deeper in, the forest has gone eerily quiet. Suddenly, a massive black shape looms over him from the shadows of the cliffside. It's got red eyes and a presence that feels a lot more dangerous than those boars. He thinks he finally found one, a Tier 1 upper stage Dark Knight black tiger. A predatory grin spreads across his face. This is exactly what he's been looking for. The tiger lunges, and Su-hong meets it with a void-piercing strike. A beam of blue energy rips through the air, looking like an orbital strike from a sci-fi movie. The massive tiger is pinned to the ground by the impact, its fur smoking from the energy blast. It didn't stand a chance against Su-hong's high-level techniques. Su-hong finishes the job with a lethal spear thrust, moving so fast he's just a blur. He's not taking any chances with an upper stage beast. With a massive boom, the spear connects with a shockwave that cracks the floor of the forest. The tiger is dead before it even knows what hit it. Su-hong stands over the carcass, his system pinging with a nice +35 martial Dao points. He thinks to himself that with his current strength, killing these high-tier beasts is as easy as breathing. He starts the messy work of searching the tiger's stomach, hoping his luck will finally turn around. He mutters that he hopes this one has a token inside. Success. He pulls out a blood-stained wooden token with a satisfied grin. He thinks that sure enough, it's in the upper-tier beast's stomach. Searching for this one piece took him nearly 3 whole hours. He looks around at the mountain range, realizing the pattern. Deeper in means higher-tier beasts, but fewer overall encounters. It's a trade-off between quality and quantity. He looks down at another black tiger he just took out. He realizes that if he only sees one of these per hour, his point farming is going to be super slow. Su-hong's brain starts working. He thinks instead of chasing quality, he might as well make it up in quantity. He's decided to head back toward the outer edges where the weaker beasts are more common. He checks his watch, 5 hours left in the assessment. He needs to stack enough points to max out his mortal body progress before the clock runs out. The next hour is a literal massacre. We see a montage of Su-hong tearing through groups of beasts like a whirlwind of destruction. It's a total bloodbath in the woods. He's standing in a graveyard of monsters, looking completely unfazed. He thinks to himself that after killing dozens of Tier 1 beasts, he finally ran into a middle stage one again. A massive black bear lunges at him with a roar. It's twice the size of Su-hong, but he just stands his ground, winding up for another heavy punch. Su-hong's fist is wreathed in fiery red and orange energy. He looks like he's about to deliver the punch of the century. With a massive crack, the impact creates an explosion of light that illuminates the entire forest. The shockwave is so large it's blowing the leaves off the trees. We get a close-up of the bear's open maw as it takes the hit. It's a brutal shot that's probably shattered every bone in the beast's skull. Close-up of the bear's glowing yellow eye. You can see Su-hong's tiny reflection in its pupil just a split second before the lights go out. Action shot from below. Su-hong is leaping through the air as the massive bear carcass is launched into the sky. The dude is literally punching bears into the clouds. He lands a final kick on the bear's chin, sending it flying even further. He realizes that since his mortal body hit 60%, he can kill Tier 1 middle stage beasts with pure physical strength alone. No fancy skills required. Su-hong wipes a smear of blood from his face, looking calm and cool. He's actually covered in beast blood, but he looks like he's having the time of his life. He checks his status screen, mortal body 64.6% and 254 martial Dao points. He only needs about 100 more points and he can finally max out his physical progress. There are still over 3 hours left, and Su-hong is confident he can gather the remaining points he needs. He adjusts his spear case and starts looking for the next group of deliveries. Suddenly, a series of massive booming sounds shakes the entire mountain range. Su-hong wonders what that sound was, his combat senses going into overdrive. He looks toward the sound, his face pale with shock. Whatever made that noise is way beyond anything he's encountered in these woods so far. A massive golden bird, the legendary rock beast king, is soaring through the clouds above. It's absolutely gargantuan, and just its presence is making the air itself feel heavy. The rock lets out a deafening screech that probably burst every eardrum for miles. Its feathers are glowing with internal fire. This thing is the absolute apex of the food chain. Su-hong is nearly blown off his feet just by the shockwave from the bird flapping its wings once. He thinks to himself that the Beast King's power is absolutely terrifying, realizing that in a world of monsters, he's still just a very strong ant. Big mistake being in this forest right now.